These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
To a pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. Bye-bye baseball.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Wednesday, April 15th. Your top story, a confirmed tornado from last night's storms.
I'm Jessica Ty, asking people to limit their water usage.
Flood warning in effect for the Rock River in Dodge County and Jefferson counties, and for the Fox River lower near Kenosha County, or in Kenosha County. The rest of southeastern Wisconsin under a flood watch today. Partly cloudy, rain again, likely later on, a high of 68. It's currently 68 in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Waukesha County Emergency Management confirming a tornado touching down Tuesday night near the village of Lisbon.
Emergency crews say no one was hurt, but there's heavy damage to homes, commercial facilities, and other structures in the area. That includes the Lisbon Presbyterian Church. Pastor Sarah Knowles telling WTMJ.
I've already had so many members of the faith community from different traditions reach out. I feel very supported. We feel very supported. And again, I feel like the church is going to go on.
Waukesha County Emergency Management and crews with the National Weather Service will continue to assess damage throughout the day. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
With more rain in the forecast, people in Milwaukee are being asked to limit their water usage.
A water drop alert is now in effect, with multiple water reclamation sites in the city at or near capacity already. The Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District says that means people should delay washing dishes and laundry, take shorter showers, and empty out their rain barrels. As of Wednesday, the deep tunnel built in 1993 to handle excess water runoff was more than 3/4 full, ahead of more rounds of rain expected through the end of the week. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Officer-involved shootings can be extremely traumatic for officers. Milwaukee police were involved in the shooting of a homicide suspect on the south side on Monday. Milwaukee Police Association Vice President Joel Miller tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
It's very traumatizing, especially for our officers with the recent history of what's happened. When, I was at the office last night, and when my phone starts blowing up from people telling me there's an officer-involved shooting, I just get goosebumps thinking of the worst. And my first reaction is, I just want to know, are my guys okay?
8 officers remain on administrative leave.
A Texas judge is hearing testimony in the lawsuits filed against Camp Mystic. 27 campers and counselors were killed when flash floods swept through the camp last summer. News Nation's Marnie Hughes.
In court, Camp Mystic's medical officer told a judge that the camp still has not officially reported the deaths of 27 people to the state as the fight over whether the camp can reopen this summer continues. The medical officer also says she did not know about weather alerts before the flood, with questions growing over how the camp prepared for this storm. It comes after the camp director said he did not see official flood warnings before the disaster, admitting the staff should have moved out sooner.
The owners of the camp have plans to open a neighboring property for campers this summer.
President Trump is again threatening to fire Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell with his term close to ending.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's term ends on May 15th. He said last month he would continue to serve after that date if his successor, Kevin Warsh, is not yet confirmed. But President Trump is once again threatening to fire Powell if he doesn't step down when his term ends. The president telling Fox News, quote, "I'll have to fire him." A president can fire a member of the Fed for cause, but Trump's attempt to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook last year is currently awaiting a decision at the Supreme Court. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is off about 200 points at 48,344. NASDAQ up about 200 points at 23,839. And the S&P 500 up about 26 points this afternoon at 6993. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Milwaukee Brewers are trying to bounce back after a 6-game losing streak. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5 after 12.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Give me an extra large deep dish with sausage and green peppers.
Sir, this is Hasselus mattress.
Throw in some breadsticks, too.
We don't have breadsticks.
Oh, well, give me some of them mozzarella sticks then.
We don't sell pizza. We sell mattresses from Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, and more for way less.
I think I've got a coupon somewhere.
You won't need a coupon for these everyday deals. Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,459, but Hasselus has it for just $794.
Running any specials?
Yes. Through Monday, get an additional $248 off your new Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress just for shopping local.
Do you deliver?
Free next day delivery and haul away of your old mattress.
Great. Step on it, will you? I'm really hungry.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers looking to aim end a 6-game losing streak tonight against the Blue Jays. Pat Murphy's crew now 8-8 after that 8-2 start.
There's a lot of fight in them. When you got the guys we got out of our lineup and the guys we got out of our pitching staff, you have to put guys in positions they don't, they're not comfortable in. Our guys never quit. That's bottom line. It's a tough one to handle.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. The NFL Draft begins 1 week from Thursday in Pittsburgh. The Packers currently own 8 selections, including number 52 overall in the second round.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No crashes, so that's some good news. We do have a disabled vehicle right now on 94 East, very close to the ramp from 41 South. Right shoulder is blocked because of that. Also, we are seeing delays, our typical delays in our construction zone around American Family Field. I-94 West at Mitchell, the right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down right there in the middle of our construction. So that is slowing things down just a bit more. That's I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. I-94 East headed into the city after American Family Field. That's extra slow going. That's a little bit earlier for this extra slow going than it usually is. Once you bypass 35th Street, though, everything is in the clear.
Flood warning in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and also in Jefferson counties, and for the Fox River lower in Kenosha County. The rest of southeastern Wisconsin under a flood watch for the rest of the day. High today, 68 degrees, could reach 73 or so inland, partly cloudy, rain and storms again likely later tonight at a low of 47. It's 69, partly cloudy in Milwaukee, approaching 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Well, nowhere near the drying out phase yet, despite some nice temperatures today, and the sun is shining in many parts, but people still surveying and handling damage from last night's storms. Our main story that we're following here this afternoon.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Happening now, teams with the National Weather Service are out surveying storm damage to confirm where tornadoes touched down last night. We know a team is in Sussex right now in Waukesha County. That team will head to Walworth County next. Text WATCH to the WTMJ Talk and Text line to see some of this dramatic damage. That's WATCH to 855-616-1620. There was a radar-confirmed tornado in Sussex last night, so detection driven by data. But today, the National Weather Service meteorologists are on the ground checking out all the damage to make final confirmation. They determine whether the damage is from straight-line winds or a tornado. If a tornado, they pinpoint things like where it happened, where exactly it touched down, the tornado's width, and magnitude. Waukesha County Emergency Management has already confirmed a tornado touched down in the village of Lisbon last night. The Presbyterian Church has damage. There's also a spot by a storage facility that is just full of mangled debris. If you're streaming us, you can see that right now. Just a ton of wood around, and sometimes you look at this and you're like, what even is that? Parts of buildings just ripped off. Some of the pictures actually show motorcycles in a mangled mess of debris, siding ripped off, and trees uprooted. Tim Hallbach from the National Weather Service is out surveying storm damage right now. He will join us coming up at 12:15 with what he's discovered.
Well, today is the day, the deadline to file federal income tax returns, pay taxes owed, or request an extension from the previous calendar year. Mark Stieber, the Chief Tax Officer with Jackson Hewitt, with tips for those who have yet to file.
Do not ignore the deadline. It is a real deadline, and it has bitey teeth that can sting if you choose to ignore it with impunity. If you don't file a tax return you're supposed to, 25% penalty plus interest compounding daily. On the other hand, if you owe taxes, there's a failure to pay penalty, a separate penalty, another 25% penalty. And if you decided to backload your taxes, that is to say your side hustle, your crypto, your passive gains and so forth, you weren't paying estimates throughout the year, you can have yet a third separate independent penalty, the underpayment penalty plus interest compounding daily. All three can add up really quickly to be larger than the tax liability itself.
In other words, get that paid on time. Get everything filed on time. Taxpayers can use the IRS free file to file electronically. That is available for most until October. You can also file for that extension, which Stieber does not recommend. It'll give you more time to file, but not more time to pay. And if you owe money and do not pay by April 15th, those interest and penalties will start to accrue. So get on it while you can.
Was it straight line winds or tornadoes? The National Weather Service is out in the debris field right now trying to confirm exactly that. Tim Hallbach joins us live next.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Do you love the way your home looks? When you pull in, do you think, wow, the old homestead looks fantastic? Or do you notice that the siding's all faded and the roof is kind of falling apart? Well, Tri-County Contracting can help make it look the way you truly want it and make you love it. The website is tricountycontractingwi.com. It's roofing, siding, and windows that'll make you love your home again. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Hey, thanks, Eric. Hey, you might want to take a little survey of the house and see how it performed against all the weather that we've had here over the last several days. We know more rain is coming. Is your house up to the task? It's a great time to check out the integrity of those windows, the door, your roof. Hopefully everything is okay, but if it's not, a call to Siding Unlimited is in order when the timing is right for you. Siding Unlimited can come to the rescue with beautiful products and wonderful installation teams for anything that'll help beautify and protect your home's exterior. Windows, roofing, siding, doors, you name it. They can also work on expanding your living space to the outdoors with a deck or patio, with pavers, pergola, outdoor kitchen, gas fire pit, you name it. They're wonderful people, family-run business. Eric and Aaron Brown have done a great job taking over from their father, who started a siding business back in the day. Well, now it's siding and a whole lot more. It's Siding Unlimited. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit BigFishContracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Take it home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. $300,000 is on the line, and you're at bat to win your share. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your April drawing entries all count toward another prize drawing in June. It's the Base Race Game Show. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
Person under arrest after a shooting at Milwaukee's intermodal station that's just on the edge of downtown.
Eric Billstad.
Milwaukee leaders will consider renaming Cesar Chavez Drive following allegations of sexual abuse against the civil rights icon.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
Got some backups on southbound 43 from before Hampton all the way down to Locust.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Well, rain again in the forecast tonight. No hope of drying out today, unfortunately. We do have a pretty nice day on hand here. 69 degrees currently under partly cloudy skies in Milwaukee. Should get over 70 if you're a little further inland. But storms again later tonight. We'll get a better idea for timing coming up at about 1:30. Niz will join us after a marathon duty the last couple of nights, trying to keep everybody safe and informed. It's 69 degrees in Milwaukee at 12:15. So we had a softball practice last night for my daughter. Now, it is an indoor softball practice. We have a facility that our program rents and uses in the Brookfield area, and it was kind of riding this line of should we practice or should we not? Practice starts at 5, usually goes to 6:30, and ultimately we made the decision to cut practice short a little bit. So our goal was to try and end by about 6 o'clock, and we said, parents, do what you want to do. Like, if you don't want to come to practice tonight, don't worry about it. Please be safe. And, we went through our paces. And then everybody's phone went off in our facility. Boop, tornado warning, time to go. And driving home, we felt safe driving home because it really hadn't started raining yet, but that tornado warning was issued for Waukesha County. But we could see what was coming. Our hope was to have everybody home by 6:45. We were home by 6:30. At about 6:45, I could hardly see out of our basement window. The rain was coming down that hard, and the shelf cloud that we saw that was jet black, and then sort of green on the other side. It was very eerie and off in the distance. In this tornado that rolled through Sussex and Lisbon, just a few miles away from where we live. So we were very close to the heart of that storm.
It was tornado warning after tornado warning after tornado warning. I mean, even downtown Milwaukee, the sirens were sounding, and you don't often hear that. The National Weather Service is out right now surveying the storm damage. They're trying to confirm exactly what happened last night and where tornadoes touched down. This isn't guesswork. This is meteorologists on the ground looking at debris patterns, snapped trees, ripped roofs, twisted metal, trying to determine whether this was straight-line winds or actual tornadoes. Tim Halbach with the National Weather Service in Milwaukee is out in the field as we speak, and he joins us live. Tim, I know you're incredibly busy today, so thank you for joining us. First off, can you give us an update on where you are right now, and have you confirmed any tornadoes yet?
Yeah, good morning. I'm currently Shaniqua, I think. I think I'm on the east side or west side of Pike Lake. We're in an area right now with some of the local fire chiefs that staring at a bunch of trees down, trying to figure out if this also was a tornado that came through or damaging winds. We have to confirm a few things. We've finished up with the survey for Sussex, or it's actually more Lisbon for where that went through. But we'll have some details on that coming out shortly.
Tim, how long does it usually take to assess the EF rating that you apply to tornadoes that roll through any community?
I'd say the stronger the tornado, the longer that's on the ground, the longer it's going to take. Typically, especially with the stronger tornadoes, if you're looking at EF2 or higher, we do a lot more intense work looking at the structural integrity of the structure that was hit, and we look at every single structure that got taken out just to assess the damage. We rate the tornado based upon the damage that occurs with it. So if I'm looking at a building and I see the roof is completely gone, there's a certain damage indicator that we put to it. So is it like a factory or like a 2-story house? And then from there, we're able to get an estimate on the wind speed. So part of it is just looking at the structural integrity and just get an idea of how bad that damage actually is.
Tim, just a minute ago, you said you're kind of ramped up with the Lisbon, Sussex area, and details will be coming out shortly. Can you give us an idea of what you did see and what you find and what we can expect here shortly?
Yeah, so it's actually just kind of east of Merton is where it looks like the tornado started. and there's some subdivisions there west of 164 where there's quite a bit of tree damage. But then once you get past 164, there's an auto insurance. I think they like resell cars and stuff like that. Tornado looked like it took a direct hit on that. We actually found the roof from part of that building about 2 blocks away, laying on top of another commercial building over there. So there's structures like that were hit, and then a church and another subdivision that's east of 164. We talked to some of the families there. Part of the surveys that we do, we talk with anybody that was around during the tornado, whether or not they got the warnings. So thankfully, for part of my heart, for the preparedness side, everybody we talked to was in their basement. One family talked about they were down in the basement. Tornado hit, and all of a sudden they had water coming in to the basement while they were sitting there. And they came up and looked upside, and they saw that there was a big hole in the house and just water pouring in because after the tornado hit, there was like 2 hours of rainfall. So, hearing stories like that, everybody's safe. Everybody we've talked to, some people have said, it's kind of scary to go through that, but they're just glad that everybody is safe.
Can you also, last night there was a point, especially as people were listening to the reports and watching on television as well, they heard there is a radar-confirmed tornado in Sussex. So, and I know even some of my girlfriends were texting and saying, there's a tornado. And I said, it's a radar-confirmed tornado, so we'll hope that it's just that. And that's part of what you do right now is going out to confirm that. But can you let people know the difference between a radar-confirmed tornado and then a confirmed tornado from what you're doing today?
So what we saw last night, and if we ever get to the point where we call it a radar-confirmed tornado, what we're seeing is a very strong rotation. And in that same spot, there's one of the fields that we have on radar called correlation coefficient. And it's basically just telling us, like, is everything in that spot look exactly the same? So, like, if it's all rain, it all just looks the same. But if a tornado hits a house and there's sheet metal going up into the sky, it gives us a signal that there's debris being thrown up into the sky. And it's something that we look at to try to gauge if it's an intense tornado, a strong or violent tornado. We can see that on radar. So a lot of the times, our first indications that a tornado has actually occurred is when we see that occur on radar. So you'll hear the meteorologist talking about a TDS or tornado debris signature. That's what we saw, and that's what we confirmed. So talking last night, once we did get reports of the damage, that's when we were able to say, like, yeah, we know that there's a tornado that happened there. We just have to go out now and confirm how bad it was. So what we found is that when people hear that there's actually a tornado on the ground, they're much more apt to take shelter when we're issuing warning. So we try to get that information out as quickly as possible if we're seeing something like that we're able to confirm on radar.
Tim, I know you're out surveying damage and trying to assess the severity of the storm that rolled through. Do you also work with Wisconsin DOT or local municipalities on potential for road closures? We know flooding was a bit of an issue, and several highways in northeast and north central Wisconsin are currently closed. Just anecdotally, on my drive in, it was very close for some of the water encroaching out of a culvert into the highway that you'd be driving down. And I'm thinking about Lisbon Road and other areas out in that stretch of our southeastern Wisconsin communities. Do you work with local officials to try and determine, we might need to make a plan here because there's more rain expected tonight?
Yeah, we work very closely. A lot of our work is on the planning side when we're working with different government agencies like emergency management directors. Anybody that's really involved that has like a role with weather, we get involved with, and we help them with those decisions to be prepared for, when there is a lot of water that's coming. A lot of these places, I think they know where their low spots are, their issues are, that they can get out there and put out signs to be able to block off roads. And, unfortunately, a lot of times the injuries or fatalities that we get from thunderstorms is when people try to cross a flooded roadway. They think that, if they drive their car into it, their car is big and strong and it's going to push right through the water. But people underestimate the power of water. So one of the things you'll hear from the Weather Service is turn around, don't drown. That's the goal of a lot of these other agencies that are trying to help, keep people away from driving through those areas. So part of our work is just to help with that preparedness and knowing, hey, we got more rain on the way, get prepared for the flooding.
Tim, real quickly here, I'm curious how you would describe this week weather-wise in Wisconsin, because we have certainly seen far worse tornadoes in the past, but we have had day after day, and here we go again today, of severe weather, and then looking ahead to Friday. This is an intense week.
Yeah, I think one of our counterparts at the La Crosse Weather Service office was able to dig in and find with the dew point. So that's typically a measure that we use to get a gauge on how humid it is. It's at, I think, record levels for this time of the year. Normally we're not hitting upper 60 to 70 degree dew points in early April. A lot of times we're kind of reliant on the Gulf to get the moisture out of there, and then also like any crops and things that are growing. But that helps to kind of fuel that higher dew point. We normally don't have that high of moisture around. So we're seeing, typically like midsummer type storms here with pretty intense weather systems that are coming through too. So unique. And, one of the things that's kind of, I guess you call it ironic, is that it's Severe Weather Awareness Week. A lot of times we're getting snow or something like that, so that people aren't really taking it seriously. But our hope is that, with this week, obviously this is kind of a lot of people that have been affected by storms and kind of have dusted off their plans and know how to stay safe when this stuff comes through.
Without a doubt. So much good perspective. Thanks so much, Tim. We'll get you back out there to continue surveying all the damage. That's Tim Hallback, Warning Coordination Meteorologist for the National Weather Service here in Milwaukee. We appreciate it, Tim.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
1226 coming up next. Local news and top national headlines.
Hey, is your son, daughter, or grandchild's birthday soon? WTMJ's John Rickier here. I've got a great idea. Hosting a birthday party is a lot of work. No need for you to cook and organize, then clean your home. How about having your party at the amazing Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable birthday party destination? Your party room is free with a world-class game room with over 70 games, including the easiest ones for your little ones. The pizza party packages are super affordable and include free game room credits. Whether your birthday party is for 10 or 50, the Mine Chef will host your party or your business event. It'll be the best and easiest birthday party ever. Your kids and grandkids will love you more than ever. They even have your cake. I highly recommend the Mine Chef restaurant for your next birthday party or a really fun, interactive business gathering. Reservations are required 2 days in advance. Google the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. Click on Party Planning for all the details. Birthdays are easy at the amazing Mine Shaft.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the trusted farm essentials you need at unbeatable prices? Like $4 off Stanley Alfalfa Cubes or Smart Beat products, up to $50 off Milwaukee brand hand trucks, and AgriMaster horse treats just $5.99. Plus, come visit us at the Midwest Horse Fair April 17th through the 19th. Tickets are on sale now. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
It's April, and if you're one of the over 700,000 people getting your annual Wisconsin Retirement System statement, Annex has something for you. If you have questions about your statement or how your WRS account should work with your overall retirement plan, join our planning and WRS experts on April 23rd for Understand Your WRS Pension Potential, a webinar hosted by Annex Wealth Management's Director of Financial Planning, Eric Strom. We'll walk through your statement, field any questions you have. That's Thursday, April 23rd at 1 in the afternoon. Register at events.annexwealth.com.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burghardt.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or your local CVS.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, April 15th. Your top story, cleaning up from the storm damage.
I'm Jessica Ty, debating tax relief.
Flood warning in effect for the Fox River lower near or in Kenosha County, and a flood warning also in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties. The rest of southeastern Wisconsin under a flood watch. Today, partly cloudy, rain likely again later this afternoon.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran holding, President Trump expressing optimism that the war could end soon. But the battle over the Strait of Hormuz remains heated. U.S. CENTCOM releasing the U.S. warning that blares to ships bound for Iranian ports and attempting to cross.
Turn around and prepare to be boarded. If you do not comply with this blockade, we will use force. The whole of the United States Navy is ready to force compliance. Now,
Iran now vowing to block transit in the Red Sea if the U.S. continues its blockade. The White House is touting Tax Day today, calling it tax savings for Americans. The IRS says the average refund this year is roughly 11% more than last year, but higher gas prices due to the war in Iran could erase some of those savings. For those who still have to file, you have until midnight. 9 people were killed in a mass shooting in Turkey's south-central region today. More than a dozen others injured. Authorities say the attacker is a 14-year-old 8th-grade student. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 12:31. Crews are out in full force across Waukesha County following another round of severe weather.
Storm damage is scattered across Sussex after strong winds tore through Tuesday night, leaving trees snapped, branches covering the ground, and power lines down near Lisbon Presbyterian Church. Crews were seen working to stabilize a fallen power line stretched across the street, keeping it from hitting the ground again. Pieces of the church were blown across the property, and nearby homes also saw damage, with trees knocked down behind and in front of the houses. One church elder tells WTMJ the building dates back to the 1800s and says the damage is heartbreaking, calling the church a place that means so much to the community. In Sussex, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Following back-to-back nights of severe weather, another round of strong storms could impact parts of southeastern Wisconsin later today. WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen says with more rainfall, flooding is a concern.
Possibly getting more torrential rain in places, and now we're starting to get into the danger zone. Saw a lot of flooding last night, street flooding, and the rivers and streams and that sort of thing are running high. So we're starting to enter the danger zone in some places with regard to additional rainfall.
Some parts of the area have already received 4 to 5 inches of rain over the last 2 days.
Police investigating a deadly shooting in Milwaukee's Harbor District. It happened about 7:45 Tuesday night near East Greenfield Avenue and South 1st Street. A 35-year-old victim died at the scene. Police are searching for a suspect.
Some Wisconsinites are wondering if they'll get any property tax relief.
During an event earlier this week, Governor Tony Evers says discussions are ongoing with Republicans in the Assembly and Senate when it comes to a tax relief package.
Well, we're still talking about it before they disappear completely from Madison. We need to get that done.
The governor and GOP leaders want to use some of the state's budget surplus to help lower property taxes. Republicans have proposed sending one-time rebate checks to residents, but Evers previously shot down that idea. Both sides seem to still have differing views on how the money should be distributed. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
And the Medical College of Wisconsin names Dr. Shekhar Kuprad its next president and CEO. Current CEO Dr. John Raymond says he plans to remain a member of the faculty, telling Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
You're going to like him. Good friend of mine, someone that I know and respect and admire a lot. He is a neurosurgeon who ran our Department of Neurosurgery very capably for many years. He founded the Wisconsin Institute for Neuroscience, that is a collaboration between Frederick Children's and MCW. And he's just an all-around amazing human being, a great doctor. He's someone that we should all be proud of.
Kuprad will begin as the Medical College's 7th president July 1st.
Coming up, an update on the Pack and the NFL Draft. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and maestro of metaphor. What do you have for us today?
Dad, buying a home is a lot like having a baby. And it turns out that in today's extra competitive market, getting real estate pregnant with your offer accepted is the hardest part. So along with your agent, your Accunet loan consultant will do everything possible to get your real estate bun in the oven.
Yep, we can definitely help buyers make their offers more competitive. Okay, so once you've made the real estate baby, so to speak, what else do buyers and their agents want?
As a son, now this is getting gross and I regret the metaphor. But the next thing everyone wants are regular checkups and an on-time delivery. That's where Accunet really shines, with proactive weekly updates to reassure the sometimes nervous homeowners-to-be that everything's okay and on track.
It all starts with a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval, and our home buying clinic is always open. Just click on the blue button at Accunet.com to get started. That's ACCUNET.com.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, "I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house." Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers looking to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight against the Blue Jays following an 8-2 start. Pat Murphy's crew now 8-8.
There's a lot of fight in them. When you got the guys we got out of our lineup and the guys we got out of our pitching staff, you have to put guys in positions they don't, they're not comfortable in. Our guys never quit. That's bottom line. It's a tough one to handle.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. And believe it or not, the NFL Draft begins 1 week from Thursday in Pittsburgh. Packers currently own 8 selections, including number 52 overall in the second round. No first-round pick for the Packers, at least not right now, after that trade for Micah Parsons.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Let's get you an update here. Quite a few disabled vehicles, just broken down vehicles out on the system, including this new one that just popped up, 4145 North at Watertown Plank Road. That's a busy spot. Expect lane closures due to a broken down vehicle there. I will say I'm not seeing any delays yet in that spot. However, 4145 North near the Mayfair area, we do have delays due to our construction zone. Also, we've got a broken down vehicle in another one of our construction zones, I-94 West. I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. The right shoulder is blocked because of a broken down vehicle. The delays on 94 in our construction zone, not too bad. In fact, they're better than they were when I checked in with you at noon. So a little bit of slowing, 94 West around the ballpark, and a little bit of slowing headed into the city right after the ballpark on 94 East.
All of southeastern Wisconsin is under a flood watch today. There are a couple of warnings, however, in effect, including the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties and the Fox River lower in Kenosha County. Today, periods of rain, storms likely late. Nothing in terms of tornadic activity, at least not in the forecast right now. We'll catch up with NIS in about an hour for details on that. Not ruling out a thunderstorm warning, however. That is certainly in play. High of 68, little warmer inland. Tonight, chance of storms at a low of 47. 68, partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:39.
Animal rights activists from around the country are packing right now, getting ready to travel here to Wisconsin to go back to Ridgeland Farms this weekend. Some are flying in tomorrow. They're calling this a historic effort to rescue beagles from the controversial breeding and testing facility. Ridgeland Farms is aware of the new plan, and their team is preparing. A.B. Broader is part of the effort to return to Ridgeland Farms on Sunday, and A.B. joins us live with an update. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So over the last couple of weeks, the organizers of the group have held training sessions to get all the volunteers prepared. Can you detail what those sessions include and what the message is?
Yeah, so the most important thing in the trainings is nonviolence. We want to make sure that we don't harm anyone, whether they're humans, beagles, and this includes law enforcement, it includes ourselves, and most importantly, it includes the employees at the farms and the security. We're a nonviolent movement, and we want to be really clear that we're not going to harm anyone. And since we're bringing a bunch of people, we want to make sure that they are all trained in nonviolence as well.
So, A.B., in that process, do you reach out to local law enforcement to make them aware of your intentions and your timing and things of that nature?
Yeah, law enforcement are very aware. We've reached out to them a lot. The main thing we've asked them to do is to, as is their duty, protect the dogs and rescue them themselves. And thus far, they've not been cooperative with that, but they have been cooperative in that, as of recently, they've reached out to the neighbors of Ridgeland and put them on notice that, like, hey, there's going to be this large event here on Sunday. There's going to be a bunch of people. We want to make sure there's parking. We want to make sure everybody stays safe, and we want to make sure the roads are clear.
If your group is successful and does remove all the dogs from Ridgeland Farms, and I've contacted Ridgeland Farms, I know there are currently 2,000 dogs still there. Where do all of those dogs go? I've asked the question before, and I think the answer I got was something along the lines of to loving homes. And I get that answer, but that doesn't really answer it. What is the plan? Because that's a lot of dogs.
Yeah, so we've had a ton of people reach out saying, it's really, really sad what's happening to these dogs in this facility. I mean, they're getting tortured. They're kept in tiny, tiny wire cages for the entirety of their lives. They never get to go outside and experience the sun. They never get to play, and they never get to get pet. And that makes me really sad, and I would love to adopt one of these dogs and bring it into my home. We've had a ton of people say that, and we're also working with some rescue organizations to help place the dogs. So there's been overwhelming support and people who are willing to take these dogs into their homes and excited to provide them with a better future.
I do want to let people know, because we have been following this. We've been on top of this for a month now and have talked to various people, including Ridgeland Farms. Ridgeland Farms breeds beagles for biomedical research, and this company has been in business in Dane County for 60 years. It refutes a lot of what the volunteers are saying. The attorney for Ridgeland Farms says the dogs are well taken care of and subject to very strict standards under state and federal law. Is there any possibility, A.B., that this does not happen on Sunday?
I think the case in which it does not happen on Sunday is where the law enforcement steps in before then and says, we're going to rescue these dogs ourselves because they are experiencing animal cruelty. I heard your segment with Ridgeland. I thought it was very insightful. I want to speak to that really quickly. I was there myself during the previous rescue, and the cages are really, really, really small, and the dogs are trapped there for basically their entire lives, and I don't think anyone's refuting that. I don't think Ridgeland disputes that fact. And to me, that's just, like, incredible amount of animal cruelty. I mean, I have a dog. We all know what dogs are like. They need space to roam. They need to be pet by people. Like, it's not like they're just, like, mildly neglected. They're trapped in these cages forever. Yeah, I think there's really clear cruelty, and I don't think anyone's going to dispute that.
A.B., what has happened to the 23 dogs that were taken in March when the group went to Ridgeland Farms and entered the facility?
They've all been adopted out to loving homes, and I've seen some really cute footage of them, like, playing for the first time, walking around and being pet.
So what happens now with increased security? I can only imagine, as you've contacted law enforcement, that Ridgeland Farms is also preparing for your visit, and while entering the facility, required a little doing on your end with wire cutters and things along that line. I can only imagine that their security will be enhanced this time around.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I think Ridgeland's really feeling the pressure right now. We know they've reached out to local law enforcement, but I think that they didn't get the response they wanted because they also reached out to the U.S. Representative Mark Pocan, and they said, hey, can we have some increased security? There's all these people planning to come to our farm and take our dogs. And Mark Pocan, I think I'm saying that right, sent them a response that I thought was really powerful, saying, not only am I not going to reach out to security to help you, I also am really upset about the condition that these beagles are in, and I think that they need to be rehomed to happy homes. So Ridgeland's like, okay, well, that didn't work. We're not confident that the police are going to protect us. I use the word protect loosely here. And so what they've done recently is they have these masked individuals that the police have indicated when we've asked them are hired security, and they have guns, and they've been attempting to intimidate anyone who goes by, including in ways that cross the line into criminal threats. For example, by mentioning that they might use their guns on people, by raising their guns out of their holsters or tapping their guns on the holsters. And keep in mind, this is the people who are just driving by on the public road. They're being chased and threatened with guns. And I think that the reason Ridgeland does this is because they know that this kind of intimidation is their last resort. Their Congress member is not going to protect them or protect their abusive dogs. The public outcry has been incredibly supportive. I was a little worried the first time because, yeah, we did use tools to cut through the fence. And I was worried that people would be like, what are you doing? This is crazy. But everybody has been incredibly supportive in Dane County and has said, yeah, we're not okay with what's happening to these dogs. So I think that Ridgeland knows that they don't have an angle there either. And their last resort is to try to intimidate us.
I will say, because I did receive the comments from your group in regards to the security measures in the last week. So I did reach out to Ridgeland Farms for confirmation. So our fans know, Ridgeland Farms says, given the fact that animal rights extremists have broken into Ridgeland Farms on 2 separate occasions in the past, 2026, of course, which is the one everyone is so familiar with, but this also happened back in 2017. Ridgeland Farms said, we do not discuss security measures, as doing so risks the safety of staff, animals, neighbors, and law enforcement officials. However, the rep also said, as for the claims about masked men chasing cars and waving guns, no one from Ridgeland Farms is doing anything like that. I will ask, if your group isn't saying that did indeed happen, have you reported that to police?
Yes, we have reported it to police.
Amy, you're suggesting that it's like an intimidation tactic to beef up security. And I'm sure Ridgeland Farms is looking at it from a standpoint of, this is our property. We don't think our property should be broken into. And while your group says, we're not breaking in, we are saving animals, and thus by, we should not be jailed for what we are doing. Could it also be viewed as intimidation from your group to publicly announce, we're coming, we're bringing people, we're going to break down the doors and take those dogs from your facility?
You know, I wouldn't use the word intimidation because our goal is really not to make anyone upset and not to cause anyone harm, human or animals. We just really want to get these dogs out because there are thousands of dogs suffering abuse. And I think that announcing it out ahead of time actually makes things safer in a way because it puts them on notice and it helps put pressure on. I mean, we would love to resolve this without having to go there ourselves if Ridgeland was willing to release the dogs themselves or if law enforcement were to facilitate this happening. That said, I am sympathetic to Ridgeland's position in this, and that I do think from their perspective it is scary. And if they're listening, I want to reassure them. We are completely nonviolent. All we want to do is help the dogs.
And I will say, we have had, because we have been following this story for a month, and we have covered just about every side that is possible. And in some cases, one of the voices that I haven't heard enough from is the Dane County Sheriff. That's the one person I called, and I said, hey, I would like to talk. Because especially when you have 2,000 people who are going to go back, I feel like the public deserves to know something. And you don't have to give away all your secrets as to what you're doing for security, but I feel like the public wants to know. But we have heard from both sides in many capacities, and I appreciate that. And I know both sides are listening to these as well. Something that you mentioned was Congressman Pocan and that letter that he sent. He did indeed send a letter to Ridgeland Farms. That is accurate. One thing that I received word of today was that The quote was, "We are actively engaged in discussions with state and federal leaders, including Governor Tony Evers' office, Senator Kelda Roy's, and Congressman Mark Pocan." So I had reached out, especially to Congressman Pocan's office and to the governor's office. Congressman Pocan's office told me no conversations on our end have been happening with outside folks, though they did say, yes, we sent the letter. And then Governor Tony Evers' office wrote me back and said, "I don't know why they are including our office in this. I am not aware of any conversation anyone in our office has had with these individuals, much less discussions they are actively engaged in." So what is happening? Because I feel like the public right now needs to know. I know there are two sides here, and everybody is very passionate about this. So there's not going to be a conclusion where everybody comes together and agrees. But what is happening? Because the governor's office is saying we're not engaged in discussions, and Congressman Pocan's office is the same, but yet your group says you are.
Yeah, so I can't speak to for sure what's going on inside any of these offices, but my perception is, I mean, our folks and people who are not connected with us but are very sympathetic have been contacting all of these people, whether it's the sheriff, the DA, the governor, or the representatives, and trying to get them to, do something about these dogs that remain in these facilities getting abused to this day. We've been getting very few responses. I think their inboxes are pretty flooded. And my guess, and I don't know for sure, is that a lot of these offices are feeling really caught in between two forces. On the one hand, all of these offices are elected, and they know that the people of Dane County or Wisconsin are overwhelmingly in favor of the dogs, and I think that's becoming increasingly apparent. On the other hand, there may be some amount of kind of buddy-buddy with Ridgeland or with moneyed interests that abuse animals, whether that's other medical interests, testing interests, or even farms. And I wonder if they feel caught between that, and I think that might explain some of their behavior. For example, the DA has not issued charges against any of us who went to the farm last month, and they've not really brought any charges against Ridgeland. And I think they're just kind of trying to remain neutral. And I think you can view the sheriff's office as doing a similar thing. And recently, Pocan did something a little bit different, where I think he's seeing the winds of change are blowing. We are all in favor of the dogs, and he's willing to come out and say, yes, I'm in favor of the dogs too. But I think that might explain some of the radio fans. Yeah, sorry.
AB, real quickly, we're running out of time here, but I just want you to give our fans an idea. I know your group feels you are rescuing these dogs and that they're in need of it. I know Ridgeland Farm says the dogs do not need to be rescued. They are well taken care of. At the end of the day, what is happening right now around the country as people get ready to fly? I know some of these are local people as well, but you have, it's estimated, about 1,000 people coming from all over the place to fly here to Wisconsin and to go back to Ridgeland Farms this weekend.
Yeah, I think people are really excited. We're getting prepared to act really nonviolently and to save these dogs.
That is A.B. Bronner, animal rights activist and lawyer. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it for the update.
Thank you so much.
The story is wild because, we've given both sides the opportunity to talk, and they have. I mean, you can go back and listen to Wisconsin's Midday News, the podcast, for a month now. We've been on top of the story and have covered so many angles. And it's one of those stories that people are so passionate about it, they're not going to be able to come to a consensus because this group feels they are rescuing the dogs. Ridgeland Farms feels, they breed these dogs. They've been doing it for 60 years, and they feel the biomedical research is important. They feel like this research helps dogs, and it has, over the years, brought important medicine to dogs. One thing I do want to note, too, as well, on any future action that's happening at Ridgeland Farms this weekend, Ridgeland Farms did write me and say, we are aware of proposals by animal extremists, as they call them, to return to Ridgeland Farms and commit what they call another mass break-in by outnumbering and overwhelming law enforcement, breaking into buildings and taking animals involved in vet research that benefits our pet animals. If fully successful, these individuals will cause up to $6 million in estimated damage. And if you remember, there was damage caused in the first one. So we'll see what happens. I think both sides would like it if this didn't happen. I don't see that happening, but it's possible.
I know you get an army of people trying to break into a facility that has had beefed up security. So these are competing forces here this weekend. So we will definitely stay on top of it. Great work. It's 12:53.
you probably don't have to replace those windows. If the frames are intact and it's just the glass that's cracked, or it's foggy, replacing thermal window panes with the help of Less's Glass will save you the cost of total window replacement. When you want to know how much we can save you, all you have to do is measure the height and width of just the glass portion of the window panes. Then send us an email to info@lessglassservice.com and we'll get you an estimate right away. Just be sure to specify if you'd like us to come out and replace your window pane on site, or if you'd like to do it in the most cost-effective way possible by bringing the windows into our shop. Either way, you're saving a lot of money versus a total window replacement that you probably don't need. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Hey, take it all home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee. Greg Matzik here reminding you $300,000 in prizing is on the line during the Base Race Game Show. It's at Potawatomi. Got to sign up and be a member of the Rewards Club to play, and then activate that rewards card and let it rip. Prize drawings every Thursday in April, plus all of your Base Race prize drawing entries count toward a grand finale prize. That drawing will be in June. For more details, check out Potawatomi.com.
We demand a lot of our shoulders and hands, our hips and knees, our backs and feet. They do life's heavy lifting, so we owe them the greatest attention in return. The Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network provides expert orthopedic and spine care to help you move, lift, turn, and reach with the most possible ease. Whether you have a sports-related injury or a nagging condition that just won't go away, excellence should always be an option. So we make our care available in nearby locations and offer same-day ortho and spine appointments when relief can't wait. It's how to recover quicker, prevent small concerns from becoming big ones, and solve complex issues with the expertise you can only get with academic medicine. We're given just one body, so let's tend to it, check in on it. Let's give it the greatest of care, because when it's tuned up and injury-free, we can always be pushing ahead. To learn more about our nationally recognized orthopedic and spine care, visit froedtert.com/ortho.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Don't wait until Friday for your fish fry. The Mine Shaft restaurant serves their all-you-can-eat fish fry every Wednesday and Friday. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The haddock fish fry is just $8.99. You'll pay twice that at other restaurants. I love the Mine Shaft fish fry. Build your own big burger or chicken sandwich with a pile of hot fries for under $10 today. Kids and grandkids under 3, eat for free. Sunday through Thursday from the kids menu, it is free. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly set away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. That sounds fantastic. Everybody in the family wins. I urge you to just walk on in today for your Wednesday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry at just $8.99. That's a crazy low price, and it's great food. Cocktails, beer, appetizers are half price Monday through Thursday from 2 till 5. The Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. Big food, big fun. It's the Mine Shaft Restaurant.
Hey, Wisconsin, WTMJ Steve Scavidi here for Badger Fence. You know what? The moment you look out of your yard and think, boy, this fence has seen some things. We've all been in that position, right? It looks a little shaky. Maybe it's leaning. Maybe it's squeaking. Maybe it's just an idea, but when it's time to upgrade, I want 3 things: privacy, security, and a fence that looks really, really good and looks sharp. So my neighbors go, wow, that's a great looking fence. That's why I called Badger Fence a few years ago. They've been installing fences in the Milwaukee area since, get this, 1945. They're Better Business Bureau accredited with an A+ rating. Doesn't get better than that. And a longtime NARI Milwaukee member. They make it easy. They'll walk you through the styles, materials, wood cedar, which is what we chose, ornamental, chain link, PVC vinyl, very popular now, so you'll land on the right look for your home and your budget. Badger Fence is licensed, bonded, insured, and they use quality materials, the best materials, which matters when you want this fence to hold up season after season in Wisconsin. If a new fence is on your list this year, set an appointment at badgerfence.com and tell them Steve from WTMJ sent you.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
When it's time to explore assisted living, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association to promote whereyouLiveMatters.org. I'm Mike from the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association. For over 30 years, our organization of more than 2,000 facility members has led through advocacy, education, and support to help advance quality care. That's why Wisconsin families trust WALA. When it's time to search for assisted living for yourself or a loved one, visit whereyouLiveMatters.org.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
To a pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. Bye. Baseball.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, April 15th. Your top story, watching for more storms this week.
I'm Jessica Ty. Are you seeing a tax refund this year?
Flood warning in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties and for the Fox River lower in Kenosha County. Rest of southeastern Wisconsin under a flood watch. Rain likely late with some locally pop-up storms here in the mid-afternoon. High 68 degrees, a little warmer inland. Chance of storms tonight at a low of 47. It's currently 69 degrees, partly cloudy in Milwaukee. At 101 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, severe weather awareness week in Wisconsin continues and more rain is on the way.
The National Weather Service in Sullivan says the pattern of storms continue throughout the week.
With the active pattern that we're still into, there's going to be, concern for that, especially if any storms sit over the same area.
Warning coordination meteorologist Tim Halbach tells WTMJ.
We're kind of taking it day by day to see how much rain falls and then what the next day looks like, but it's something with how much water is out there is not a good start.
Halbach says the situation will be monitored and urges people to stay weather aware. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
With more rain expected throughout the week, Milwaukee's water reclamation system will once again be tested.
By Wednesday morning, the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District's Jones Island facility was already over capacity, with the Deep Tunnel and South Shore facilities at more than 3/4 full. Additionally, MMSD is investigating 5 sewer overflows centered around areas that saw much of Tuesday night's rain. A combined sewer overflow dumping untreated water into Lake Michigan hasn't been ordered yet. The last overflow, following August's historic flooding, saw a record 5+ billion gallons of wastewater sent out of the system. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A homicide suspect killed in an officer-involved shooting with Milwaukee police. It happened on Monday. Police Association Vice President Joel Miller says shootings are traumatic for officers, telling Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
It's human instinct. You get tunnel vision, they call it. You don't see what's going on. You're going to fire your gun. It's hard to hit a moving target. People, it's easy to go to a range and shoot at a target and hit the target. When the target's moving and firing rounds back at you, he's a lot harder to hit. So sometimes those rounds, we train every day to hit the target we're shooting at, but sometimes that doesn't happen.
No officers were injured.
President Trump says the war with Iran will be over very soon.
The president says of the war, quote, "I think it's close to over," unquote. In an interview on Fox Business, Trump also said in his words, "I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and we're not finished. We'll see what happens."
I think they want to make a deal very badly, unquote. The president also said China's President Xi will not be sending weapons to Iran, saying he wrote him a letter asking him not to do that, and Xi wrote back saying he's not doing that. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
And today is tax day, and according to the IRS, more Americans are seeing refunds this year. News Nation's Alicia Nieves.
Around 11% according to the IRS. That's netting them on average $3,500, which is $300 to $400 higher than last year. Again, that's on average, but we're seeing more people get refunds this year. So far, as of April 4th, 70 million people have gotten refunds compared to the same point last year, 68 million. The previous year, 2024, was 66.8 million.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is off about 120 points today at 48,415. NASDAQ is surging up about 250 points at 23,884. And the S&P is up about 35 points at 7,004. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavidi.
And Kristen Bry of Point Taken.
What's more important than having a special needs child turning 18 who needs guardianship?
Or helping aging parents plan for long-term care.
Thankfully, the attorneys at Walney Legal Group can help with both.
No intimidating lawyers, Walney Legal provides a customized, friendly experience to help make these processes as straightforward and streamlined as possible.
So whether you're planning for aging parents
or establishing a strong legal foundation for a special needs child, visit WALNYlegal.com.
People hear Horicon Bank and they think local instantaneously.
Over the years, was able to help them in their later years when they needed some care. So I would say that was cradle to grave experience for me.
We encounter precious moments like this all the time. We have a trust administration department that can help.
Our motto is together as a bank and as an organization, and then doing good.
There's amazing success stories of small business entrepreneurs who now are multi-million-dollar companies.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hey everybody, Debbie Loziga here for Comfort Awnings. This year, reclaim your outdoor space like I did. Having the option to extend our awning when that summer sun gets too hot or when it's raining has been a game changer and allows my dogs, husband, and me to enjoy our patio every season. Comfort Awnings is now offering their biggest promo ever. Get up to $1,000 off any awning or screen. That's right, start spring off right and get 10% off up to $1,000 until the end of the month. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The NFL Draft begins 1 week from Thursday in Pittsburgh. Packers currently own 8 selections, including number 52 overall in the second round. And it had the makings of a good old-fashioned Brewers win last night, but ultimately the Brewers fall short in 10 innings. Manager Pat Murphy not happy with how the fans reacted to closer Trevor McGill's outing.
For them to be booing him up there, that's just not our best fans, that's for sure. We have the great fans. But let's remind them of that. Are they okay to be disappointed? But sometimes young men go through tough stuff. I was disappointed in that those people wouldn't support him when he's going through that stuff.
And McGill unable to protect a 4-3 lead in the ninth inning. Brewers have dropped 6 straight. Coverage of tonight's Game 2, 6:05 on WTMJ.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. Our slowing in our construction zone on 94 is getting worse right now. 94 westbound headed out to the burbs. Very slow going around American Family Field. We also have, this is just making it worse, a broken down vehicle on 94 west at Mitchell Boulevard. 94 east headed into the city is also slow after you reach American Family Field, but it will clear once you get to, about 27th Street. It looks like we're good to go today. Also seeing slowing in our typical construction zone on 4145 north. Not as bad today, though, by Mayfair as it usually is. We also have a broken down vehicle in that spot, though. 4145 south at the ramp from Burleigh Street. Right shoulder is blocked because of it.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Rain likely later this afternoon and evening. High 68 degrees, a little warmer inland. Chance of storms tonight and a low of 47. More rain in the forecast on Thursday, then becoming partly cloudy with a high of 61. Storms again in the forecast on Friday night. 77 your high inland on Friday, 66 near the lake. We should dry out a little bit on Saturday and Sunday. Though rain early in the forecast on Saturday, then partly cloudy. Sun returns on Sunday, but a high of just 48 degrees. It's 69, partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 109.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Just relentless rain in the forecast here. A little reprieve, but looks like storms could pop up again later this evening. Brian Disnansky, who has not slept, I don't believe, in 48 hours.
So busy.
Every time I turn on the television, he's on TV. And
he's keeping us safe.
Yeah, incredible work from the team at TMJ4. Niz will join us coming up at about 1:35. There is rain, but are we looking at severe weather again? Please say no as we try and dry out.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, for the third day in a row, there's a risk for severe weather in southern Wisconsin. Storms could start firing up in an hour here. The peak time for storms is between 5 and 9 tonight. As we prepare for more storms, the National Weather Service is busy surveying damage from last night's storms. We talked with warning coordination meteorologist Tim Halbach during our first hour of Midday while he was out in the field examining the damage. Here's what he and his team discovered in Waukesha County.
It's actually just kind of east of Merton is where it looks like the tornado started. And there's some subdivisions there west of 164 where there's quite a bit of tree damage. But then once you get past 164, there's an auto insurance. I think they resell cars and stuff like that. Tornado looked like it took a direct hit on that. We actually found the roof from part of that building about 2 blocks away, laying on top of another commercial building over there. So there's structures like that were hit, and then a church.
Significant damage. Hail and flooding is a concern again tonight. Isolated tornadoes are possible depending on where the front sets up. TMJ4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Disnansky will walk us through all the possibilities coming up at 1:37.
Number 2, NFL reporter Diana Rossini resigns from The Athletic as it investigates her relationship with New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel. More from CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace.
I'm not just an NFL reporter. I'm an insider, so there's...
Rossini is stepping down a week after photos emerged of her holding hands and hugging Vrabel at a luxury Arizona resort. Both are married. Both claim the photos lack context and their interactions were innocent. In her resignation letter, Rossini says she has no interest in submitting to a public inquiry that has already caused far more damage than she is willing to accept. As for Vrabel, a Patriots executive says it's business as usual for the coach ahead of next week's NFL draft. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
So photos were leaked. That's what happened here. Photos leaked showing Rossini and Vrabel holding hands, embracing at a rooftop hot tub together, just the two of them. Rossini stated it was part of a trip she had with a couple of female friends. They were hiking in Sedona, though none of the friends were ever pictured in the pictures that were leaked. She also explained that her presence at the resort with Vrabel was part of a larger platonic gathering of 6 people and maintained as an NFL journalist it's common to interact with sources outside of professional venues. Vrabel is also the coach in question here. He had reportedly driven 2 hours from a scouting event in Tempe to specifically meet with Rossini's group for the day. Nevertheless, Rossini was put on leave. The Athletic continued to investigate, and now comes her resignation, in which she points out that the media frenzy and repeated leaks was damaging to her reputation. She also, in the letter of resignation, points out that her contract was set to expire June 30th, 2026. Nowhere in the resignation letter did she admit to any wrongdoing. Over the past week, several clips have surfaced from appearances on podcasts and radio shows where Rossini offers disparaging remarks against her husband, who some believe hired a PI to take those photos.
Number 3. This one, it's a little different. It makes you go, A former shoemaker is rebranding itself as an artificial intelligence company. CBS News business reporter Jason Brooks reports.
Allbirds announced it's pivoting into an AI services provider, renaming itself Newbird AI, and is raising $50 million to acquire high-performance AI compute hardware in order to rent graphics chips to customers and provide AI cloud solutions. That's a far cry from Allbirds' origin as a shoemaker, but the San Francisco company closed all of its shoe stores and sold its intellectual property earlier this year following years of weakening sales. Investors are jumping all over Allbirds shares, with the stock skyrocketing by more than 700% during trading.
Those shoes were pretty popular for a while.
Very comfortable. In fact, I own 2 pair. So I would say 2021, their stock
Peaked.
sold for about $400 a share.
So,
and since then, it has cratered.
Yeah, here, you want some specifics on that? Allbirds shares peaked at $577 in 2021 following its IPO. But then they plummeted to less than $3 before today's rally.
So up 700. Just keep that in mind. It's still trading at under $20 a share. But yes, why wouldn't a shoe company that is struggling just rebrand itself as an AI company? I think Skechers is going to go into military defense training before too long. It's a crazy story. They went brick and mortar and it kind of flopped on them, but their shoes are very comfortable.
Here's the thing about brick and mortar. Shoes, I want to try on the shoe.
Oh, I get it.
There's so many things that I can buy online and I'm fine with. Shoes, yeah, sure, I can, but the likelihood of me having to send them back because they're a little uncomfortable or they don't fit is just so much more likely when it comes to shoes.
I know my brand, I know my size, so I can repeat those orders, but I'm with you. If I'm making a repeat purchase, I can kind of just order and go. Very comfortable shoes, and this is not a move I saw coming, but their stock was recently at about $2.50 per share. It's 1:15 on WTMJ.
The historic Fox and Hounds is one of the most beautiful and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin. WTMJ's John Mercure here, and it's my very favorite. Every night, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Choice steaks, honey glazed salmon, pan-fried walleye, pasta, seafood, even the steak and lobster. How about ribs? Any entree, dessert, and ice cream drink are all buy one, get one free. Celebrate a birthday, your anniversary, a retirement, or just a quiet dinner with your sweetie and get a free dinner. Have your employee appreciation dinner. How about a wedding reception, rehearsal, or family reunion dinner at the Fox and Hounds? Half of those dinners are free. Right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest, the views are spectacular. The dining rooms are gorgeous. Gift cards make perfect year-round gifts. Everyone loves a free dinner. Google and order online. Your gift cards will arrive shortly. Reserve your corporate or family dinner, wedding shower, or rehearsal dinner today. Half your dinners are free every night at the award-winning Fox and Hounds.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. You should see what our new floors look like. And you can. But let's talk about you first. Whether you want to tighten things up before selling your house or you want to be more comfortable in your forever home, start at Hunt's Flooring. Our new hardwood floors are in. We could not be happier that we chose local, family-owned Hunt's Flooring. Text FLOOR to 855-616-1620 and I'll send you the before and after pics. Hunt's is ready for your project right now. Tell them Vinny sent you. Highway 100 in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
Well, rain expected again later this afternoon and evening. Niz will join us coming up in about 15, 20 minutes or so to talk about timing. Possibility of some severe weather, but doesn't look like there's any concern for tornadoes. Might get a pop of a thunderstorm here, however, before the end of the day. We don't need the rain. There's no doubt about that. And we're getting a little bit of a dry reprieve here right now with temperatures right around 70 degrees and partly cloudy. A little warmer inland this afternoon.
If you think all the biggest cyber attacks in America are being carried out by shadowy criminals overseas, think again. One of the largest hacks in U.S. history was launched by a teenager sitting in his bedroom in Massachusetts. Now he's going to federal prison where he'll be locked up for the foreseeable future. ABC's Jim Ryan joins us with the details. And Jim, how does a teen at the time go from gaming online to pulling off a massive breach that impacts schools across the country?
Hacker forums. Yeah, these are chat rooms out there on the internet somewhere in the corners of the internet where hackers get together and they share advice and they share tips. They share pictures of themselves holding up the wads of cash and the jewelry, the other ill-gotten gains that they've acquired through hacking. And that's what Matthew Lane fell into. He was 18 at the time and decided that he was going to hack into a company using the credentials not of someone who worked there, but of a contractor. The company is called PowerSchool. It's an education software company used by about 80% of the nation's school districts. It has records on 60 million kids and 10 million teachers.
Wow.
And so Matthew Lane had access to all those records and could hold them essentially ransom and demand money from PowerSchool, extort money out of them. Now, PowerSchool hasn't said how much he was able to extort, but I think we can find a clue in the sentence that Matthew Lane was given. 4 years in prison and a $14 million restitution he was ordered to pay. So that may be the amount that he managed to take from PowerSchool.
You know, Jim, if I think about it, if for somebody of this age, is it about the money or is it about cracking the code and quote unquote solving the puzzle?
Well, I think the latter, because Matthew Lane, he didn't really need the money. He was a college student. His parents were paying his way to an Ivy League school, but it was the thrill of it. And he said, he says quite bluntly that he was addicted to hacking. You can find this whole story on abcnews.com, by the way. And that's what he's told us, that this was an addiction to him. He also says that he's glad that he was caught because he was going to keep doing it. So now sitting in prison, he is sort of refining his skills and turning them in a different direction, and a direction that he says will be honest when he gets out. He intends to become a white hat. That is a former cyber criminal who now works with companies to improve their cyber security.
It is wild to hear him say, I would have just have kept on this path. I would have kept doing it, but I like to know that he's going to now take this terrible turn and use it for something good. What's the latest, Jim, on whether any of that data has actually surfaced on the dark web or been misused since the breach? Because you mentioned a lot of people.
Yeah, well, yes. And apparently nothing yet, at least. None of that data got out there as far as anyone knows. But Jeff Jackson, who's the Attorney General in North Carolina, 4 million kids may be affected by this, and a certain number of teachers, too. He said that those kids, those 60 million kids, or some portion of them, might not even realize that they had been touched by this until they try to apply for a credit card years and years from now. And their data is out there being used for different things, by other people. So that's kind of a frightening piece of this whole thing. Yeah, they sealed the leak. Yeah, they put the perpetrator in prison. But is the data still out there somewhere?
Hey, Jim, are you suggesting that these forums, it's almost like hackers in training, right? I mean, the first time this guy sat down at a computer to try and solve something was not the age of 20. As a college student, it was likely during his teenage years. And the information is out there, and you can be groomed on these sites to become proficient in this world.
Well, right, and in exactly the same way that a drug dealer in some company or some country might have a mule or hire some low-level person. Here's $100. I want you to smuggle these drugs in your underwear into the United States, and they do it. And in the same way, people on these hacking forums might convince somebody like Matthew Lane with the promise of money. Say, hey, why don't you go ahead and hack into PowerSchool, and we'll give you a cut of that. So there's this whole underground economy that's happening out there on the web we don't even know about.
Lane described the hacking as incomparable to any drug. Do law enforcement officers or psychologists see cybercrime addiction as a real phenomenon?
Sure, yeah, they do, and that's an issue. That's why you have rehab camps essentially. They're like summer camps for hackers or for people addicted to their own phones, where they go without any contact. And so, and it's very much like a drug rehab center. You go through addiction, you go through DTs and withdrawal effects, and some kids they escape there, or they sneak in phones or other devices. So It's a real thing.
Jim, from your understanding, does the FBI's cyber criminal division embed anybody into these groups? I'm sure they keep track of it. They know it exists, but I'm wondering if there's anybody actually on the inside going through the paces to try and snuff these issues out before they become real issues.
Well, I think, for every Matthew Lane, there may be 10 others who don't get caught. And so, the FBI is constantly trying to do that, trying to, infiltrate, if you will, these kinds of hacking forums or other places on the Internet where hackers meet and trade information and trade pictures of themselves, flashing their bling. That's one specialty that somebody like Matthew Lane, if they decide to clean up their act, could actually go into, I suppose.
A new generation of tech-savvy teens who are uniquely dangerous and surprisingly young. It's a fascinating and scary story. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
Thanks, Jessica.
Looking for books, movies, digital tools, exciting programs, and more? Milwaukee County Public Libraries have it all, totally free. One library card opens the doors to all 27 public libraries in the county. Kids can dive into story times and STEAM kits full of fun and discovery, while adults can join book clubs, sharpen career skills, or take online classes in everything from tech to language learning. Head to findmylibrary.org to begin exploring libraries and open up a world of unlimited access to learning and fun.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
I know we had Jim on covering that hacking story, but he's on another story today. This is wild here. A Florida physician indicted in the death of a 70-year-old man after a medical procedure turned fatal.
In August of 2024, Bill Bryan and his wife were at their vacation property in Destin, Florida, when Bill started feeling a pain in his side. He was diagnosed with a ruptured cyst on his spleen and rushed into surgery.
They removed his liver instead of his spleen.
Beverly Bryan is his widow.
So, of course, he bled to death on the operating room table.
She filed suit. Now Dr. Thomas Shagnovsky has been indicted on a second-degree manslaughter charge. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
He took the liver out instead of the spleen.
How does that happen? How does it happen? And isn't that everybody's worst fear if you're going in for something like that?
That the wrong organ would be removed from your body?
I mean,
I suppose it's a concern, yes.
I had to have my gallbladder removed, and I'd never had any type of surgery, so I was just scared beepless.
Like, they're not even really that close to one another, are they? Like, I'm assuming that they look very different, although I've never been inside a person's body to figure that out. But don't you have a team of people in the room?
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
How does that
just
happen?
One dude,
right? Everybody can make a mistake. Nobody's perfect, but that's why you have a team. So somebody else is checking. I mean, nobody realized.
Somebody,
nobody in the room realized.
Doctor,
we're going for the wrong organ.
Doctor, you gotta go. It's over here. You gotta do this one.
Such a fear.
Gotta do this one.
Poor guy.
128.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside.
I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code STATION for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STATION for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's STATION.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait. This offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
Pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyle's back. Track. Bye. Baseball. Drive right center. This could be number 2 of the day, and it is.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Wednesday, April 15th. Your top story, tracking more storms for southeastern Wisconsin.
I'm Jessica Ty. Another state senator set to retire.
Rain is on the way, high 68 degrees, up to 73 inland.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. As the U.S. and Iran try to set a second round of peace talks, a Lebanese official is signaling that negotiations yesterday between Israel and Lebanon have made progress on a possible truce. With Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah, ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge has more.
He's effectively saying that there might be a ceasefire in Lebanon. Now, remember, it is critical that there is a ceasefire in Lebanon from Iran's point of view because they're saying there has to be a ceasefire in Lebanon for there to be a wider deal. Israel continues to launch strikes in Lebanon at high civilian cost. Israel saying they're going after Iran's main proxy, Hezbollah, in Lebanon.
Utah is the latest state hit by a measles outbreak. The state health department says more than 400 measles cases have been reported, with at least 49 hospitalizations. Health officials say the majority of those are unvaccinated. If you haven't finished your taxes, today is the deadline to file or ask the IRS for an extension. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Coming off another night of severe weather, more showers and strong storms expected later today across parts of southeastern Wisconsin. WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen.
Set up for severe thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. Doesn't look quite as high as it did last night, but it's not zero. It's certainly possible that we could run into a few more severe thunderstorms with large hail and strong winds, again, mainly this afternoon and tonight.
Potential flooding will be a concern over the next several days.
Discussions continue with state Republicans over a tax relief package. Governor Tony Evers and GOP leaders want to use some of the state's budget surplus to help lower property taxes. Republicans have proposed sending one-time rebate checks to people in Wisconsin, but Evers previously shot down that idea. Both sides seem to still have differing views on how the money should be doled out.
Another Republican in the Wisconsin State Senate plans to step down.
Senator Jesse James says he'll retire at the end of his term and not seek re-election. He initially had plans to run against Democratic State Senator Jeff Smith to represent the 31st District in the western part of Wisconsin. But in a statement, James says the role came at a price and he wants to spend more time with family. He was elected to the state Senate in 2022 and before that served 2 terms in the Assembly. James is now the 5th Senate Republican deciding not to seek re-election this fall. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Allergy season is starting for Wisconsinites. CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, Dr. John Raymond, says tree pollen is the main cause of early springtime allergies.
In Wisconsin, we were ranked number 44 by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America in terms of the top 100 metros in terms of the severity of allergies. The Allergy and Asthma and Sinus Center in Greenfield says that we have moderate levels of willow, maple, cedar, juniper, and box elder pollens.
Common symptoms include runny nose, itchy eyes, scratchy throat, coughing, and sneezing.
And police are investigating a deadly shooting in Milwaukee's Harbor District. It happened about 7:45 Tuesday evening near East Greenfield Avenue and South 1st Street. A 35-year-old victim died at the scene, and police are still searching for a suspect.
Milwaukee Brewers are hoping to snap a 6-game losing streak. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 1:34.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
Jason, I've scrubbed the baseboards, organized the spice rack, and color-coded my socks. I'm pretty much unstoppable.
You missed the drain, Tracy. Your hairball has it moving slower than a snail on a Sunday. It's practically glacial. It's...
Okay, I get it. Don't let a clog ruin the spring clean. For just $49, Capital Heating, Cooling, Electric, and Plumbing will get the pipes as fresh as the breeze.
Leave slow and steady to the turtles. We'll take the fast and flowing.
Call CapitalCares.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Debbie Laziga here, and I'm so happy with what has been going on with the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. They've held my hand through everything, and I'm already down over 20 pounds. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's about a pound per day. And for a limited time, get $200 off with their spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
Academic Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at ACCUNET.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers looking to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight against the Blue Jays. Following an 8-2 start, Pat Murphy's crew now 8-8.
You just got to get through it, and you got to be strong, and you got to show them, like, look, we got 140-some games to go, and we're hurting right now. But the way we battled revealed our character.
Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6:05 on WTMJ. And the Packers are armed with 8 selections in the upcoming NFL Draft, which begins 1 week from Thursday in Pittsburgh.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. DOT still reporting a broken down vehicle in our construction zone on I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. Right shoulder blocked because of it. I can tell you I am seeing delays that are getting longer on 94 around the ballpark. 94 West is pretty bad right now. Also, 94 East headed into the city after the ballpark is a little bit slower than it was before as well. Nothing new. That's due to the construction, and obviously the disabled vehicle doesn't help either. That incident just cleared. That's good news. We also have 4145 North at Watertown Plank Road. Expect some lane closures there because of another disabled vehicle. For the most part, though, we're doing okay, especially if you compare it to last night. In the midst of those storms and the flooding and the dangers that we had on the roads, looking better today.
In the homes of so many, we have seen a lot of you over the last couple of days.
Too much of me, I think.
Never.
Yeah.
That's never the case.
No, thank you for that. But honestly, yes, it has been long days, but there are people who have longer days, with trees all over their yards and stuff like that. So I'm conscious of that. This is, it's obviously my job, but quite frankly, like days like today and yesterday and the day before that, all of a sudden transitions from being just a job to being truly why you get into a field like this. If you don't, rise to the occasion or find passion in it, if you don't find, make sure you're putting your best foot forward and quite frankly, want to thrive on it, then you're in the wrong business. So again, while it is a lot of work, it's definitely something that becomes a little bit more than work to me the last couple of days.
Without a doubt. I mean, last night for your team, that was about saving lives. And thank goodness, as we just talked to Tim Halbach with the National Weather Service, as he is out there right now in the field surveying the damage, one of the things he said to us is, everybody's okay. From what we have gathered, from what we're seeing, everybody's okay. And that's what your work is all about.
Yeah, totally. I thought the warnings were all warranted last night. I thought, I know our coverage, we did the best we could, and I'm sure our fellow, colleagues across, town were doing the same thing. So that's what it's all about. Again, it's about making sure that we're doing, we feel a responsibility. I don't want to say pressure, because pressure sounds like a negative term, but we have a responsibility during these times to provide the best information we can. And sometimes that information could actually be good news, like if you're seeing on a radar or you're not getting confirmation of a tornado. The ability to share that could also bring a sense of comfort to some people, hopefully, as they track along with us. And we got more storms on the way. As you mentioned, that tornado, Tim Halbach is out there with the Weather Service. They are still surveying, but they sent out a preliminary report of an EF2, Lisbon, and that's also the tornado that went into Sussex as well. That's probably one of what will end up being multiple confirmed tornado touchdowns across southeastern Wisconsin last night. And they're probably going to still do some surveying for tornadoes that likely touched down 2 nights ago as well, guys.
Well, so we know that was a part of the discussion yesterday, that the conditions were ripe for tornadic activity. I'm not seeing that as much in the discussion today, Niz, but is there potential for severe weather later on?
There is potential for severe weather. We don't have quite, the ingredients, the energy, the instability to produce, big tornadic thunderstorms, but never say never. All bets, you still have a chance of that. I think we're looking at more of a straight line wind, hail threat again, and probably not the baseball size hail that we saw last night, but more in the way of maybe peaking out around golf ball size. So we'll just have to monitor things. I would say the window for severe weather will be between 7, for the most part, between 7 and 11 o'clock in the evening. There could be some showers and storms that sneak in here sooner, but that's probably our main window for tonight, guys.
And wouldn't it be nice if we could say, and that's it for a while, but then I see Friday, there's another potential for severe storms.
Yeah, so we might even sneak a couple more showers in, or even a thunderstorm Thursday morning. Then hopefully we catch at least a 24-hour break. And then, we're going to have to watch Friday night into Saturday. Right now, it looks like Friday night, the primary threat, the bullseye, will be to the west of us. But eventually, those storms will move in our direction. So we're going to have to watch out Friday night into Saturday. This has been a wild stretch of April weather. Not only, of course, severe weather, but the heavy rainfall. We saw the effects of that last night. We now have a flood watch going into tonight. I could see an additional at least inch of rain with some locally higher amounts possible heading into tonight. So at least an inch of rain on top of already being really waterlogged will cause street flooding again, especially if it comes at a fast clip. Obviously, area rivers and streams are getting swollen, and we'll probably start to see more river flood warnings here in the coming days.
Well, great stuff, Niz. I know you got a lot of work yet to do. We appreciate all your work all of the time, especially the last couple of days. It's been great to have you on in our house. And even my daughter said, hey, don't we play soccer against their daughters? Yes, we do. You see me talking to Mr. Nisnansky every once in a while on the sidelines.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I have similar family situation at home, and my hope is to never scare people. It's to hopefully inform people. I know I can get a little excited when I'm up there, but I try to bring the right tone and temperature to every event, and I hope that you guys can trust that.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate it, Niz. We'll talk soon.
Yep, see you guys later.
You bet. 1:43 in WTMJ, our weekly wellness check with Dr. Weston after this.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. Greg Matzik here for Gruber Law Offices. If you've been hurt in an accident, it's a simple phone call to Gruber. Let them fight the legal battle while you focus on healing. Gruber has been helping those in the state of Wisconsin for over 40 years of winning your cases and giving back to the community. Top priority for the folks at Gruber. It's a family-run business, but it's also a large and powerful team of 30-plus attorneys among the nation's largest personal injury firms and one of the largest in the Midwest. It's Gruber, locally known and nationally recognized. Check out gruber-law.com. If you've been hurt in an accident, make that phone call to 414-276-6666.
Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox and Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
1:45-ish on a Wednesday. Time to check in with Dr. Ben Weston for our weekly wellness check. Dr. Ben Weston from the Medical College of Wisconsin and Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County. Hi, Dr. Weston.
Hey, how's it going?
You're doing well. The sirens, they work in our area. I know they work downtown. Sirens going off here. Severe weather been part of our story here the last couple of days. And amazingly, during Severe Weather Awareness Week, so a bit of irony here in Wisconsin. I was thinking about it driving my kids home last night. We were at a softball practice, and they were concerned. They were worried. I could sense their level of anxiety and stress sort of growing with the uncertainty of what the weather could bring. And we know about the damage these storms can do to communities and homes and neighborhoods, but you also think about it in terms of the individual. It could be a stressful situation.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I'll tell you, I was driving my kid and a few others home from a baseball practice last night. So we were in the same, I was going to say the same boat, but I guess the same car there. But absolutely, it can cause a lot of stress. It affects our health in immediate as well as long-term ways. Short-term, of course, we think about injuries from debris, from flooding. We saw that in Milwaukee, from lightning, strong winds, power outages that a lot of people are dealing with right now. But long-term, it increases stress and anxiety. It can also worsen respiratory conditions like asthma or lung disease because of bad air quality or down the line, mold and allergens after that flooding and storms.
I was talking about this earlier with Tim Hallbach from the National Weather Service because this week has just been so wild. We are used to unique Wisconsin weather, right? We are used to storms. We have certainly had far worse tornadoes, no doubt. But to have 3 days, we're looking for more severe weather coming up today is likely. So to have 3 days in a row of severe weather like this, and last night where there was tornado warning after tornado warning after tornado warning, Wisconsin severe weather seems like it's changing.
It is changing. I mean, we know that we don't have as many tornadoes as some other parts of the state, but we still see an average of 23 per year and rising, to your point, with the highest activity from April to September. So we're right in that window. Now, a lot of times we're protected by the lake from severe weather, but we have seen tornadoes. The last time it touched down to the city was about 20 years ago at Mitchell Airport. But more commonly, we tend to see these strong thunderstorms, damaging winds, lightning events. And with the warming weather that we see over time, Wisconsin has more severe weather. We've seen about a 10 to 20% increase just in that amount of precipitation since 1950, especially in our southern and central regions where we are.
You think about all the different ways that you have to work to protect yourself or your family during these situations, Dr. Weston. There really is a before severe weather, a what you do during severe weather, and then even after.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, before it's all about prevention and preparation. Having the stuff you need, knowing where you're going to go. For severe weather, it means identifying a safe shelter, a basement, a room with no windows, staying up to date on those weather alerts. A lot of us now get them through our watch or our phone, and then practicing drills so your family knows where are you going to go. What are you going to do if you're not all together? How are you going to communicate? After the weather, it really depends. For people who've had flooding, we talked about this back in the fall, it's about cleaning up quickly so that mold is not starting to build up in your home and your living situation and causing a lot more problems downstream. Also thinking about ticks and mosquito bites. We're getting to that time of the year, but especially with all this rain outside, we're going to see a lot of bugs, a lot of ticks, a lot of mosquitoes. And so once that happens, using repellent, wearing long sleeves, long pants, things like that, and then recognizing that not everyone's equally impacted, especially we have a lot of low income and more vulnerable communities that have higher exposure to environmental risks with less resources to recover.
Well, it certainly caused stress last night. The severe weather did for a lot of people. And I think that the cleanup work is causing some stress for many people as well today. Speaking of stress, Dr. Weston, April is National Stress Awareness Month, which gives us a chance to discuss how stress impacts our daily lives and how it can also impact our long-term health. And I think that's a big deal, too, because you have a lot of people who deal with a lot of stress, whether it's day-to-day at work or whether it's with the family and aging parents. And sometimes you're just working through it, right? You're like, I can get through this. I can get through today. I can get through the week. I can get through the month. But sometimes you really have to think about the long-term effects. So how can stress impact our bodies?
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of thinks of stress in different sort of ways, and everybody knows how it affects them. It might be that you feel overwhelmed or anxious. Under pressure, you feel a perceived threat. Now, in small doses, stress is helpful. This is evolutionary. It can keep us alert and keep us motivated. But when it's constant and ongoing in our lives, stress takes a toll on our body. It can lead to aches and pains and headaches, mental health issues like anxiety, depression, insomnia, trouble sleeping, stomach disorders, stroke, heart disease. There's a long list of what chronic stress can do. So that's what we really want to try to avoid and address.
So what is the tipping point for that, right? Because we all feel stress in our life for something, right? Could be one thing or another. It could be an exam if you're a student or something like that. Could be that you got a challenging day at work. But that might be isolated. How do you know when it's becoming a chronic issue, Dr. Weston?
That's right. And that's really the key point here is that stress here and there is just part of life, right? But if that stress is weighing on you every single day, if you're sitting up at night thinking about it, when that stress sticks around for a long time, it's no longer helpful. It's harmful. And that chronic stress can be linked to a lot of serious health conditions. We talked about some of the more acute things, but in the long term, it can be high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, even arthritis has a stress component to it, as well as many mental health issues, anxiety, depression, substance use. When our bodies are under stress, we release the hormone cortisol. We've talked about this before, but it triggers our flight or fight response. Faster heart rate, elevated blood pressure, again, short bursts, like in an emergency, this is useful. But over time, that elevated stress can wear down the body and really increase vulnerability to long-term diseases.
So the big takeaway here, I know a lot of people want to know, is how can we cope with stress in a healthy way?
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was a one-size-fits-all, but it isn't. But now that said, there are some places to start that apply to just about everybody. First, taking care of your body goes a long way, whether it's for stress or avoiding disease. Eating well, balanced, healthy meals throughout the day, exercising regularly, keeping your body in good shape, and getting plenty of sleep. Those things alone are going to make you much better positioned to manage stress. And in and of themselves, especially as exercise and sleep, they are stress-relieving activities as well. And then taking breaks when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling stressed, to just pause. Mostly you can stop what you're doing. What we're doing usually isn't quite that urgent. So you can take a break, take a walk, reach out to friends, reach out to family for that support. And really important is if that stress starts to feel unmanageable, seeking help from a healthcare professional for support. Reach out to your primary care provider, reach out to our health services within Milwaukee County or whatever county you live in. There's a lot of resources out there.
Dr. Ben Weston joining us here as part of our weekly wellness update. Oh, such great information, and very interesting that Severe Weather Awareness Week falls in the week that we are having here in the state of Wisconsin. Stay safe, Dr. Weston. We'll check it again next week.
We appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Yep, you do the same. So yeah, the stress thing is interesting because I've joked about this in some of the commercials I do for our closet. Well, that was a source of stress. We got to get this fixed. This is terrible. It's driving me nuts. All right, we got the problem fixed. That's no longer a source of stress. I try and live as much a stress-free lifestyle as I possibly can. I try not to get too worked up, but it's hard. It's hard to convince yourself that, hey, this is not a big deal. When it might be. Like, I never want to go the other way either, not thinking something is a big deal and not treating it with the appropriate amount of respect.
Yeah, without a doubt. You definitely try to keep things light, that's for sure. So I might be crunching and might be stressed about something, and then all of a sudden you got Greg like popping up on a desk and giving a silly face.
I do stand on things
that's how we work.
Yeah. It's good, though. It's good, though. You get a good balance. No, we all work hard at our jobs. We all work hard at the things we do. It's also very good to laugh and enjoy it as you can as much along the way.
And take that walk, a coffee walk. See, he was suggesting
Definitely. No, that definitely helps. We sit quite a bit here.
Gina?
It's 1:55 on WTMJ. Gina left a while ago. News coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Looking for books, movies, digital tools, exciting programs, and more? Milwaukee County Public Libraries have it all, totally free. One library card opens the doors to all 27 public libraries in the county. Kids can dive into story times and STEAM kits full of fun and discovery, while adults can join book clubs, sharpen career skills, or take online classes in everything from tech to language learning. Head to findmylibrary.org to begin exploring libraries and open up a world of unlimited access to learning and fun.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. That could be a source of stress, right? Your garage door is not working, the opener, something's going wrong. What the heck's going on? Well, give my friends at Geis a call today. If it's a new door or opener you need, no problem. They got a massive inventory in brands like CHI and LiftMaster, top of the line kind of stuff, but doors and openers for every budget, and even a custom design area if your project is custom. Swift and reliable garage repair solutions are available for you visiting GeisDoors.com. Check out their showroom in Brookfield. I've been there. I've connected with the folks at Geis. They are trusted in this business, and they've been a name and a player for 70 years. Amazing work. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit GeisDoors.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spirit wear is vital. That's why Burkhart Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spirit wear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spirit wear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhart.
You can't beat Burkhart.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Fredert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in eastern Wisconsin. So there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit fredert.com/cancer.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
To a pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. Bye-bye baseball.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, April 15th. Your top story details on the tornado touchdown in Lisbon.
I'm Jessica Ty. Progress on a ceasefire deal in the Middle East.
Flood warning in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties. The Fox River lower in Kenosha County. Also, flood warning. Milwaukee River near Cedarburg, same deal. The rest of southeastern Wisconsin under a flood watch. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a confirmed EF2 tornado in Waukesha County. National Weather Service confirms a touchdown in the town of Lisbon in northern Waukesha County Tuesday night. Multiple homes, commercial facilities, and other structures heavily damaged, including the Lisbon Presbyterian Church. Pastor Sarah Knowles tells WTMJ.
Quite an event to happen in my first year here, but our congregation is so close and tight-knit that I knew that we would make it through this.
No injuries have been reported.
A busy day for meteorologists even after last night's severe weather. Tim Hallbach with the National Weather Service in Milwaukee tells Wisconsin's Midday News tornado ratings are based on damage estimates.
If I'm looking at a building and I see the roof is completely gone, there's a certain damage indicator that we put to it. So is it like a factory or like a two-story house? And then from there, we're able to get an estimate on the wind speed.
Yeah, those damage assessments are key. Hallbach says the longer a tornado is on the ground, the longer it takes to determine the rating.
The Ozaki Interurban Trail in Mequon is closed because flooding has broken the trail. Mequon's Public Works Department says the road collapsed on the trail just north of Highland Road and west of Cedarburg Road, making it impassable. Barricades are up to block the road. Any traffic will be rerouted.
A key spy tool faces major obstacles in Congress ahead of its expiration next Monday. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
It's known as Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It allows the government to collect the communications of non-citizens outside the U.S., but it could also sweep up the data of Americans who are in contact with those targeted foreigners. National security officials have long argued it's essential to prevent terrorist attacks. Opponents from both parties worry it allows federal authorities to snoop on Americans without a warrant. The Trump administration wants an 18-month reauthorization of the law without any changes.
The Lebanese information minister says there may be some progress in negotiations between Israel and Lebanon. ABC's Tom Sophie Burridge.
He's effectively saying that there might be a ceasefire in Lebanon. Now remember, it is critical that there is a ceasefire in Lebanon
from Iran's point of view, because they're saying there has to be a ceasefire in Lebanon for there to be a wider deal. Israel continues to launch strikes in Lebanon at high civilian cost. Israel saying they're going after Iran's main proxy, Hezbollah, in Lebanon.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy is continuing its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is off about 65 points today at 48,472, but the NASDAQ is surging. Good day in the tech world, up 320 points at 23,960. S&P is also up about 51 points at 7,020. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
The Brewers are looking for a win. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:03.
These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
Pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. Bye. Baseball. Drive right center. This could be number 2 of the day, and it is.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Hey, remember when your basement was just for storage? WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. With Matrix Basement Finishing, they turn that empty space into the heart of your home. It's what they did for us. Whether it's a cozy family movie night or cheering on your favorite team during the best time of the year to watch sports. From the design consultation to picking out your perfect flooring and fixtures, the process is seamless and done at your home. Get the quality craftsmanship you deserve with no payments until 2028. And visit matrixbasements.com.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
I didn't want my kids spending their weekends fixing my gutters or worrying if I was okay. Hi, this is Arvid. At Capri Communities, I have new friends, fun activities, and a safe, maintenance-free home. My children get peace of mind, and I get to enjoy life to the fullest. It's the best gift I could give them and myself.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers looking to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight against the Blue Jays. Pat Murphy's Crew 8-8 after that 8-2 start.
You just got to get through it, and you got to be strong, and you got to show them, like, look, we got 140-some games to go, and we're hurting right now. But the way we battled revealed our character.
Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6:05 on WTMJ. University of Wisconsin is on the hunt for a new director of athletics following the departure of Chris McIntosh. Former AD Barry Alvarez believes it's among the most attractive jobs in college sports.
Tremendous university, great city to raise your family. Your fan support is there. That's a pretty good start. And you have a reserve in your athletic department, which nobody has.
McIntosh begins his new gig with the Big Ten Conference May 1st.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I have to say, I like what I'm seeing right now because we didn't have any crashes before. We had a bunch of disabled vehicles, however, and those have cleared. But right as I say that, that sounded very Wisconsin, right? As I travel towards the Delafield area, I do see a brand new crash. I-94 West, very close to the ramp from Wisconsin 83. Left lane is blocked because of that crash. I'm going to go ahead right now and take a peek at the cameras for you. I do see emergency responders are already at the scene. Looks like a car has crashed into the grassy median, which is also very waterlogged right now, very swampy. So traffic is moving along very slow right now. 2 emergency responders out there. Hopefully no one's seriously hurt. Looks like maybe only one car is involved in this. Only one car that I can see at the moment. So heads up there. This is starting to cause a backup. It's a new crash in I-94 West near Wisconsin 83. Left lane is blocked.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford needs line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Contact the Mineshaft today and start next week.
Rain in the forecast tonight. Most severe threat falls between 7 and 11 o'clock, according to Brian Niznansky, and that could bring about some hail and straight-line winds. Nothing to be concerned with regarding tornadoes, at least out of the forecast tonight, but locally some heavy rain possible. Overnight low 47, tomorrow's high 61, chance of showers again, then becoming partly cloudy. It's 68 degrees and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 208.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Well, coming up in about 6 minutes, a conversation with Milwaukee Bucks president Josh Glessing. Boy, it's going to be a very interesting offseason for the Bucks. What's next in terms of head coaching for the Milwaukee Bucks? And if you're interviewing for that job, don't you want to have an idea what Giannis is going to do or what the plan is for Giannis? How do you do that? How do you navigate those waters? We'll ask Josh coming up in about 6 minutes here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Breaking news within the hour, the National Weather Service confirms an EF2 tornado in the town of Lisbon in Waukesha County. Here's the breakdown for it. The tornado had maximum winds of 120 miles per hour. Its path was more than 3 miles long, and the tornado was on the ground for 6 minutes. We talked with Tim Hallbach from the National Weather Service in Milwaukee while he was on the ground examining the damage. That was during our first hour of Midday. He told us they also talked to families during this process.
Part of the surveys that we do, we talked with anybody that was around during the tornado, whether or not they got the warnings. So thankfully, for part of my heart, for the preparedness side, everybody we talked to was in their basement. One family talked about they were down in the basement, tornado hit, and all of a sudden they had water coming in to the basement while they were sitting there. And they came up and looked outside, and they saw that there was a big hole in the house and just water pouring in because after the tornado hit, there was like 2 hours of rainfall. So, hearing stories like that, everybody's safe. Everybody we've talked to, some people have said, it's kind of scary to go through that, but they're just glad that everybody is safe.
Yeah, definitely frightening for that family, but thank goodness everyone is safe. The storm survey team heads to East Troy next.
Number 2, today is the day, deadline day, to file federal income tax returns, pay taxes owed, or request an extension from the previous calendar year. Mark Stieber is the chief tax officer with Jackson Hewitt and tells us if you're thinking about filing an extension, well, it'll work. You just not recommended.
We in the tax business love extensions. You get to pay us twice to do your taxes. You pay us once to work up the numbers on the extension amount. Then you come in later on and we finish it and we charge you again. So yeah, don't be misled. There are benefits, but it's never to the taxpayer.
Stieber, a guest on Midday last week. You can do that extension thing, no problem. It'll give you more time to file, but not more time to pay, and that's a key thing he wants to point out. It doesn't give you an extension on what you owe if you owe it.
By the way, I have never come across a man who is more excited.
Very excited.
To talk about taxes.
If you're looking to do the online thing, you can do it. IRS Free File to file electronically. I don't know, did you ever get roped into this when you were in your early days of TV? It's like the story that was always the story. You'd show up at the post office, 6 o'clock news or 10 o'clock news. Oh, there's still 20 people in line. Let's talk to Patty from Michigan. Patty, why are you procrastinating? Well, I got this, that, the other thing. And there you are from the post office with your live hit on the 10 o'clock news.
That was definitely a thing, definitely taking a live look at the post office. I feel like that has changed so much with people filing online. It reminds me of Black Friday shopping. I mean, those live shots, it used to be amazing, and you'd see all the people rushing in and just the rush of people going through, just running to get that deal on the TV. I'm not saying that doesn't happen anymore, but it's very different. And you have so many stores that aren't even open now for Black Friday, and you have deals that last for days, so it's just not the same.
I don't think it is quite the same sort of story as it used to be, but that's okay. Make sure to get your taxes filed. That's also a tip from Mark. Don't skip this year. It's 2:12 on WTMJ. Milwaukee Bucks president Josh Glessing joins us on the other side. It's been an interesting week already for the Bucks. It pretends to be a very interesting offseason as the Bucks look to get back to playoff relevance next year.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Well, the story of Horicon Bank is an incredible one. Greg Matzik here reminding you Horicon Bank has been around since 1896. 130 years, celebrating a monumental anniversary here in 2026 because they do banking the right way. That's how you stay in business as long as Horicon Bank has. Community-minded, focused on business, focused on you, and whatever it takes to get that business off the ground, get that first checking or savings account started for a loved one, might be refinancing a home or securing a home mortgage. It's Horicon Bank, founded by inventors in the state of Wisconsin. They get the job done for you with branches now open in New Berlin, Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls, Grafton, and West Bend. They're starting to pop up here in southeastern Wisconsin, expanding but not losing that community-minded approach. It's Horicon Bank for 130 years, together doing good. Member FDIC.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe, but old, drafty windows can steal that feeling. At Ridgetop Exteriors, we bring that peace of mind back. As Wisconsin's leading Pella Premier contractor, we install beautiful, secure windows and doors that can save you up to 40% on your energy bills. Get a home full of new Pella windows for as low as $198 a month. Learn more at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Truth Nation, it's that time again for the Tory Low Community Cleanup. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 18th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. as we come together to clean up the city of Milwaukee. Be part of making a difference in our community. The Tory Low Community Cleanup, Saturday, April 18th, 8 to noon. Sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Steinhoffels, Cousin Subs, Waste Management, and presented by the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District, your clean water partner, serving greater Milwaukee for 100 years.
Rain in the forecast later tonight. The biggest threat for anything severe falls between 7 and 11, according to Brian Disnansky. With that straight-line wind, potential for some hail. Doesn't appear as if tornadoes will be part of the forecast tonight. That's a good thing. We could use a break. Could use a break from all of it. Rain expected again on Thursday, then partly cloudy and a high of 61. It's currently 68 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:15. Well, the offseason is here for the Milwaukee Bucks, and the to-do list is quite a long one here. Doc Rivers out as head coach. The search is on for his replacement. Experienced veteran or up-and-comer? What's the best path forward here? Bobby Portis weighs in on the Run It Back podcast.
I don't know if a new coach, especially like a young coach, can handle this situation. It's not an easy job to have, you feel me? Like, you're in a small market with championship aspirations. So I think that right there in that regard kind of speaks for itself.
But it is a head coaching gig in the NBA, and the Bucks are an outstanding franchise. So a lot of attraction here in Milwaukee. Wanted to welcome in Bucks president Josh Glessing to the program. Hey, Josh.
How we doing?
Doing great. So this is going to be an interesting process, to be sure. I would imagine, Josh, anybody going through this interview process, they're going to have questions about the future, specifically of Giannis as a member of the Bucks. How do you handle those questions to anybody who might be interviewed?
Yeah, I think those are fair questions to ask in the context of any business, right? If you're taking over, a consumer packaged goods business, you ask those questions. Do I have my executive team here? Who's here? Who's staying? Who's going? So I think those are fair questions. Most importantly, I think there needs to be a consensus amongst the key stakeholders that there's a commitment to winning. I think above all else, is there a commitment to winning, and do you have the resources from ownership to execute on that commitment? And what you don't want is someone who says, I'm only coming if I have this, or I'm only coming if I have that. You want someone who says, these things change and they evolve year over year, and that is the nature of professional sports. But I'm committing to holding people accountable. I'm committing to driving the best result on court. And an ownership group that's committed to providing the resources to do that. And I think we've got that in place.
Josh, you mentioned ownership. What role will ownership have in the hire? And could the preference of an owner overrule the preference of the GM?
I think if you, in any process, you do these things together, you look for a consensus, and we have the benefit of time right now. We're not going to rush into anything. So I don't necessarily know if anyone's going to, quote unquote, overrule anyone. But if you run a good process and you take a Socratic approach to asking questions, and again, everyone wants the same thing, which is to put us in the best position to succeed, you hope that you come out with a consensus. And, you know, as you get longer in the process, if we're in October, I think that's a more fair question to ask when at some point a decision has to be made. But the goal and the hope is to be able to do it in unison. But yeah, legally speaking, can the owners overrule John Horst? Sure. But the intention is not to get to that point, is to run a really thoughtful process, and John Horst is leading that process in conjunction with ownership to drive a really good and compelling result.
You know, Josh, there's some benchmark dates here on the offseason calendar, including the draft lottery on May 10th. You'll have the NBA draft toward the back end of June. Summer League begins in early July. I know you can't pinpoint an exact date when you'd want to have a head coach hired, but is it important to have a coach before the draft or even before the draft lottery? Do you look at it in those sort of broad terms?
You do. I mean, obviously, the sooner you can get someone in, the better. There are a lot of NBA teams still playing, right? That matters. You have to factor that in. What we won't do is be short-sighted. We won't rush into a short-term decision when we hope to have a really long-term relationship with somebody. So while the goal is to get someone in as soon as possible, get them to work, get them to build out their staff, the reality is we are thinking about this over the course of the long term. And, you know, there are potential candidates that could currently be on coaching staffs elsewhere. And you don't want to rush into anything knowing that all of these things are happening simultaneously. So, but the goal is to get someone in as soon as possible, but it's got to be the right person. And you're not going to rush a short-term decision when there are long-term ramifications.
We had a discussion on Monday with Eric Name of The Athletic, and he had asked Giannis about his future. And Giannis responded, "It's not up to me anymore," noting that he had not been offered an extension yet. Has a contract extension been presented to Giannis in his representation? What's true there?
Well, here's the reality is a contract extension cannot be offered to Giannis right now. He can't sign an extension until October. So there is really no, has one been offered or not? Per league rules, there can't be one offered today. That's just the way that it works within the system. So is it fair to say that an extension has not been offered to Giannis? Sure, but we technically can't offer an extension to Giannis.
That October date it kind of feels like a false deadline, Josh. And here's what I mean about that. You're going to go through the process of hiring a new coach. The draft will come here at the end of June. The Bucks will have a lottery pick of some sort. I just feel as looking at this that the direction would start to become more clear around that time in the summer, more so than October 1st. But to get Giannis to sign, if that is the intention of the franchise, you'd likely have to have some level of discussion and being on the same page before that October 1st deadline. Is that an accurate way of looking at it?
I don't think it's an inaccurate way of looking at it, but again, it just goes back to technically what we can and can't do under league rules, and it's really, really important, to be thoughtful about those league rules and to work within the confines of the league rules. So something may seem like a false deadline. It doesn't change what we can and cannot do.
I think fans are divided on this, and it really surprised me being a Bucks fan since back in the day, since I was a kid, and being through through the hard. So we've had hard times. We had a lot of hard times, and we had great times winning the championship as well. Fans are divided though, and I'm curious: has the franchise determined if keeping Giannis in Milwaukee for the next 3 or 4 years is the best thing for the franchise? Some fans say yes, without a doubt. Others say no, it's time for him to go. Have you guys decided that yet?
No, we haven't. We're grateful that Giannis is on the team. He's under contract to be on the team. We've got, wind down in the postseason happening this week, exit interviews. We've got off-season workout plans and regimens that, we expect everyone to take a part of. And that's the goal and the plan right now is to continue to follow through with what we can do. And we make decisions real time based on the information that is in front of us. And it'd be unfair for anyone to say definitively one way or the other. But what we know is he's on the roster. We have an off season. We've got off-season workouts that we need to focus on, and everyone who's currently under contract is going to do that as well. And that's the plan, and that's the goal.
May 10th is the draft lottery. The Bucs will learn its draft position on that day. Josh, are you going to be the good luck charm? Are you going to represent the Bucs here? Right, new to the organization, seems like a great opportunity.
I can assure you definitively, I will not be doing that. We actually have some interesting thoughts on the right person for it. And we think there's a couple really, really good options that we're excited about. But I can tell you definitively it won't be me.
That seems like, I don't know, that's not fair, Josh. We would be delighted to see you up there. No, I say it in jest because
I'll be honest with you, and it's part of my role. And the truth is, I've been a Milwaukee Bucks fan my entire life. So would something like that be surreal to me? Sure. The whole thing is surreal to me, but there's a fine line of what actually makes sense and what doesn't. And if we're going to pick a fan to represent us, it won't be me.
We were talking before about now we've got this decision on a new head coach as well. I mean, big decisions coming up here. There was some talk as well earlier this week that maybe an assistant coach who hasn't had that full-time gig yet might be right for the spot. Do you guys have anybody you're looking at yet? Any murmurings and any thoughts that you can let us know?
No stone is going to go unturned, is what I'll say. And there's a lot of great up and coming coaches. We have great coaches on our staff. We have multiple coaches with head coaching experience. There's great assistant coaches throughout the league. There's great former head coaches who have experience in the league and through the process, every avenue will be evaluated. And, there's what you want to do and there's what you can do in terms of talent. But, we're really grateful that we have some fantastic people in the building already. And that's not to say that's the direction that will go. But, those are the avenues we have to evaluate.
Hey, Josh, don't give names, please. And I know you won't. I won't ask you to do that.
You don't mean that. You mean please give names.
Yes, we would like it if you did, but we understand.
Let's not be coy here. Please give names, even though I know you won't.
How can I ask the question so I know Josh will ask a specific answer? That's what I'm trying to weigh in my head. Yeah. You please. No, I don't anticipate you to give
I'm a recovering. Hey, listen. I'm a recovering investment banker. Like, good luck trying to do it.
No, it's good. I do wonder if. Have you identified anybody at the college ranks who might make sense? Again, don't give names, but is that level of basketball off limits or in play?
Everything's in play. There's nothing that's not in play. Other than me, I put my name in the hat and they said no.
Okay, well, fair enough. Understandable. Well, we're looking forward to this offseason. There's going to be a lot of excitement around the offseason and building toward next season. Yes, of course, watching the playoffs will be a little different for Bucs fans this year, Josh, but no doubt it would be no surprise to see the Bucs make a return trip before too long to the postseason.
Good, that's the plan.
Well, we appreciate it, Josh. We'll continue these discussions. Looking forward to talking to you throughout the offseason and having these chats here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Thanks always for your time.
Thanks, Josh.
Good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You bet. 2:26 here on WTMJ. College, pro, this is going to be interesting. Newcomer, experience.
Somebody with the team already? Yep. I mean, so many options. As he said, leaving no stone unturned.
Remember those old commercials that said, "Hey, you got chocolate in my peanut butter"?
Oh, yeah.
Take that same innovative concept, but replace chocolate with memory foam and peanut butter with Coil Springs. And what do you get?
A weird-tasting candy bar?
You get Penny Mustard's exclusive line of double-sided hybrid mattresses.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Just like the perfect mix of chocolate and peanut butter, our double-sided hybrid mattresses combine specialty foam and a supportive coil spring center.
Other mattresses have one or the other, but not both.
The naysayers said, "Nay, you can't create a flippable, breathable, supportive foam mattress."
And we said, "Oh yeah? Watch us."
Penny Mustard's hybrid mattresses are made in Wisconsin and built to last 45% longer than the average unflippable model.
Every mattress is backed by a 1-year comfort guarantee.
And they're 100% chocolate and peanut butter free.
Revolutionary double-sided hybrid mattresses developed by the sleep geniuses at Penny Mustard.
PennyMustard.com.
We were talking about stress with Dr. Weston about an hour ago, and yes, our master closet was a source of stress. I know it sounds weird, but every time I walked in, I felt anxiety, and I didn't like it. It was a terrible place. It had our clothes, and that was the problem. It was all over the place. Builder-grade racking kind of falling apart. We had no good solution and not enough space for our stuff. Well, not only did we declutter, but Inspired Closets Milwaukee came up with a brilliant solution for us to manage that clutter and thereby manage the stress. You can do the purging, but sometimes the mess just moves from one spot to another. Inspired Closets Milwaukee can handle this for you with a brilliant solution for you, like they did for us in our master. Whether it's a master closet, maybe it's a linen closet or a pantry, any sort of space in your home that could use an organizational touch, you can rely on Katie and Dan, a wife and husband team at Inspired Closets Milwaukee. We took a visit to their showroom once our designs were put to 3D, and then we put on the goggles and got to walk our space in a virtual world. That was impressive, and that's the difference with Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Great people, great solutions for you at your home. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi.
And Kristen Bry of Point Taken.
Kristen, did you know that only 40% of Americans have done any estate planning and only 40% of those have been properly updated?
When it comes to wills, trusts, and probate, there's a lot at stake. I needed someone who specializes in estate planning. At Walney Legal Group, that's all they do.
No intimidating lawyers. They just provide customized, friendly, easy experience. They call it lawyering the way it should be. So whether you need your estate planning reviewed
or just getting started, visit WALNYlegal.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Restrictions apply. It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20-plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no-obligation consultation today.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. Your top story: high school students evacuated for a smoke scare.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franz, and a ceasefire remains in effect for the U.S. and Iran. The Strait of Hormuz remains at the center of the ongoing war, with the U.S. naval blockade on ships bound for Iranian ships' ports intact. ABC's Rachel Scott says efforts on another round of talks before the current ceasefire ends remain murky.
As of this moment, there is no extension. There could be future talks that could be happening as early as this weekend, trying to get Iran and the United States to come closer to a deal. And there's that big question whether or not the president would actually extend the ceasefire if he feels like these talks are productive and they are getting closer to actually making a deal. But right now, that's pretty open-ended.
A jury in Manhattan federal court finding Live Nation illegally monopolized the market for tickets using pressure and leverage. The judge will decide how Live Nation should pay. The jury determined Ticketmaster overcharged consumers by $1.72 per ticket. The company could be made to pay that back plus damages. And today is tax days. You have until midnight to file. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. A smoke scare forces a temporary move for one Milwaukee high school.
Milwaukee Public Schools confirmed staff evacuated Rufus King High School after smoke was reported inside the building Wednesday. The issues happened before the school day began and was later traced to a mechanical problem with an air handler in a basement tunnel, not a fire. Classes were moved to Andrew S. Douglas Middle School, where students continue learning for the day. Repairs are expected to be complete so students can return to Rufus King on Thursday. No one was harmed during the evacuation. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Following back-to-back nights of severe weather, another round of strong storms could impact parts of southeastern Wisconsin later today. WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen says with more rainfall, he's concerned about flooding.
Possibly get more torrential rain in places, and now we're starting to get into the danger zone. Saw a lot of flooding last night, street flooding, and the rivers and streams and that sort of thing are running high. So we're starting to enter the danger zone in some places with regard to additional rainfall.
Some parts of the area have already received 4 to 5 inches of rain over the last 2 days.
With more rain in the forecast, people in Milwaukee are being asked to limit their water usage.
A water drop alert is now in effect, with multiple water reclamation sites in the city at or near capacity already. The Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District says that means people should delay washing dishes and laundry, take shorter showers, and empty out their rain barrels. As of Wednesday, the deep tunnel built in 1993 to handle excess water runoff was more than 3/4 full, ahead of more rounds of rain expected through the end of the week. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Will we get property tax relief? That's what many Wisconsinites are wondering right now.
During an event earlier this week, Governor Tony Evers says discussions are ongoing with Republicans in the Assembly and Senate when it comes to a tax relief package.
Well, we're still talking about it before they disappear completely from Madison. We need to get that done.
The governor and GOP leaders want to use some of the state's budget surplus to help lower property taxes. Republicans have proposed sending one-time rebate checks to residents, but Evers previously shot down that idea. Both sides seem to still have differing views on how the money should be distributed. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
And another Republican in the state Senate plans to step down. State Senator Jesse James says he'll retire at the end of his term and not seek re-election. He initially had plans to run against Democratic State Senator Jeff Smith to represent the 31st District in the western part of Wisconsin. In a statement, James says the role came at a price and he wants to spend more time with family. James is now the 5th Senate Republican deciding to not seek re-election this fall.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
In 2027, the world's most iconic landscapes are yours to explore with Fox Group Vacations and Globus. Imagine the lush tropical beauty of Hawaii, the breathtaking peaks of the Swiss Alps by rail, or the rugged wonder of the Australian outback. With expert-led itineraries and a community of fellow travelers, we handle every detail so you can simply enjoy the view. Your next great adventure awaits. Call 866-GO-FOXGO or visit foxworldtravel.com today.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. NFL Draft begins a week from Thursday in Pittsburgh. The Packers currently own 8 selections, including number 52 overall in the second round. Meanwhile, the Brewers will look to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight, taking on The Toronto Blue Jays, Pat Murphy's crew, 8-8 on the season.
There's a lot of fight in them. When you got the guys we got out of our lineup and the guys we got out of our pitching staff, you have to put guys in positions they don't, they're not comfortable in. Our guys never quit. That's the bottom line. It's a tough one to handle.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. Good news here. The crash out in Delafield. There was a car out in the median off 94. That has cleared. I'm still seeing a little bit of a backup, but it just cleared. So I anticipate that backup will be gone pretty soon here. As I travel on over closer to downtown in the Milwaukee area, 94, definitely seeing delays both eastbound and westbound around the ballpark due to our construction. Also seeing some delays as I take a peek here. Miller Parkway seeing delays as well. Heads up, there are some areas that still have water on the roads. You're not talking about the interstates by any means, but just a heads up. Certainly nothing like it was last night. That was a dangerous situation. But be aware, we do have the chance for more severe weather later today. Also, 4145 north near the Mayfair area in that construction zone, also seeing some red. And a heads up right here, no crash being reported, but I am seeing 43 south. I'm seeing some delays. Looks like once you get past North Avenue, before you hit Walnut Street, all of a sudden you're hitting the brakes. And that goes all the way until about 94.
Straight line winds, potential for hail tonight as the storm threat appears to be most significant between 7 o'clock and 11 o'clock p.m. It doesn't mean you couldn't see rain before that. In fact, rain is starting to pop up on the radar here in southeastern Wisconsin. So going to be an active night once again. Stay close here on WTMJ. We've got our high of 69 degrees right now. In fact, that's where we're at downtown, 74 inland. I'm not sure what the weather in Washington, D.C. is like, but it always feels like there's some sort of storm a-brewing. We welcome in from the Midas Touch. It's our congressional correspondent friend. It's Scott McFarland. Hey, Scott.
Hey, good to be here. Thank you for playing the music of Guy.
Guy?
Just
what can
a
you
guy?
tell us about Guy?
Well, it's a group. It's a group called Guy, whatever that means to you, but they were very, very big in 1991.
Look at that. Still, Scott, how long have we been doing this together now? And you still amaze me every week.
Couple years.
I'd never heard of Guy.
No.
I got nothing on him. I got nothing.
I did not know Guy was a group, but now we know. Now we know the dates, too. Fantastic.
Well, never a surprise that Scott always gets it right here. Hey, Scott, you wanted to touch on a few things happening here around the world and in the nation's capital. President Trump saying today the war in Iran is close to being over. Do you sense any level of optimism in the nation's capital that this could be the case?
Timetables keep shifting here, Greg, and there's really no way around that. We've heard 4 to 5 weeks as an initial estimate. A few more weeks, we're almost there. And that's not to say he's wrong about that. It's just that we've heard that before. So I'm not getting a sense from his fellow Republicans here on Capitol Hill, where I sit as we speak, that they're locked in on that time frame. Some of this is aspirational, and some of this is maybe a negotiating tool or an attempt by the president to secure some leverage. But there's no indication that there's confidence in that timetable.
After failed negotiations in Pakistan, are other meetings scheduled in advance of the ceasefire expiration? And it's kind of been interesting, too, to see who they're sending. I know at one point, J.D. Vance, the VP, was sent over there, but that was only for a short time, a limited engagement, so to speak.
Yeah, peace talks tend not to break off after one day if they're full-fledged peace talks, and that's what happened with J.D. Vance. I think the administration is trying to, to bait the hook to get some more peace talks launched, trying to. Some of this is a work in progress. The president caught a little grief, and so did Marco Rubio, for being ringside at a UFC fight during those initial peace talks. Maybe it wasn't the best look. Optically, wasn't the best. Doesn't mean the president or Marco Rubio would have pushed those peace talks any further along than they were already. But you can just sense the administration is trying to use whatever levers it has right now to get more conversations going. And that may happen in short order.
Former U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, a no-show at a House Oversight Committee deposition on Tuesday, Scott. What was this all about, and why did she not show up?
She didn't show up because the Department of Justice said she didn't have to show up. Now, that's their interpretation of the subpoena they received for Pam Bondi to talk about the Epstein files on Tuesday before the House Oversight Committee. You can imagine the House Oversight Committee had a different perspective on this. They subpoenaed Pam Bondi. They did not subpoena the U.S. Attorney General. And just because she's out of that job doesn't mean she's out of the realm of the U.S. House Oversight Committee or that the subpoena is no longer viable. They're going to try again to get her back. They don't really have a legal argument to make here. I mean, they can say she's in contempt of Congress by no showing, and in fact, she might be. But the only way she gets prosecuted for contempt of Congress is if the Department of Justice prosecutes her. And I don't think Todd Blanche, her former deputy, is going to prosecute his former boss and his fellow Trump loyalists. So that's not going to happen. So what the Congress has right now, Greg, is political pressure. They can politically try to press her to show up, to be transparent, to answer questions in a deposition. And they think they've got a chance at that because this was a bipartisan notion from the get-go. You got to remember, the Epstein files were partially released because nearly a unanimous vote of the U.S. House leveraged them to be released. It wasn't just one or two people. It was the entirety, seemingly, of the Congress. So they could try to apply that same pressure.
Scott, is there a broader conflict here over Congressional Oversight Authority regarding former cabinet officials and their compliance with subpoenas?
There's going to be. I think that's going to be much more of a debate, though, Jess, if the Democrats get control of the U.S. House or the U.S. Senate or both in January. Those subpoenas will be issued far more often and a much larger scale and size if Democrats have the majority. This is right now. There's just the opening salvos of getting people to come testify, the types of things both parties agree on, so that they slip through the Republican majority. If it's a Democratic House or Democratic Senate, there's going to be a whole parade of subpoenas going to the Trump administration. And how they carry that, what they do about that, is going to define 2027 politically.
You know, Scott, I wonder if you hear Wisconsin, the state Wisconsin, that word, if you hear it a lot in the nation's capital. Spring election season here, just about a week ago, we had our spring election. It's going to be a hotly contested race for governor in our state. And this is one of those swing states that people always point to. Do you hear it? Do you hear it come up in conversation? Wisconsin, got to make sure we win Wisconsin, more so than other states?
I hear two states, Iowa, Wisconsin. Yeah, your instincts are spot on. Not only do you have a competitive U.S. House race, and every single competitive U.S. House race is going to be a big deal when the margins are this narrow, but also got to be mindful that what we saw in the court election last Tuesday is being viewed as a bellwether of where the turnout engine is for Democrats. They had a remarkable turnout Tuesday. And not to compare apples and oranges, but let me try a little bit here. You know, we saw that in Hungary, where the turnout was preposterous to oust Viktor Orban. There's this optimism that what they've seen so far, with not just the special turnout in Wisconsin, but the retirements that were subsequent to it from the state Senate in Wisconsin, from Republicans, indicates Democrats are mobilized and a turnout is going to be in their favor in November. There seems to be a turnout model against Trump or against the Republicans that can help Democrats across the board. Doesn't mean they're going to win the governor's race, but it means that they're well positioned to win other races, and maybe that's a bellwether of what's happening across the country.
Scott, as soon as I knew Wisconsin was going to be one of the states, and you said there are two that you hear of in Washington, I knew Iowa was going to be the other one. And I think of Iowa, and I think of the Iowa caucuses and first in the nation, and is some other state going to come up and have the first? I mean, they are so proud of being first in the nation in those Iowa caucuses.
But even in the midterms, when you're kind of pre-caucus there, look what Iowa and Wisconsin have in common. In parts of Wisconsin, parts of Iowa, just remarkable concerns about fertilizer costs. Remarkable. Because there's a remarkable problem with fertilizer costs. All that means we spend more on food when we go to the grocery store and the other issues that come from it. Those are similar. And it's happening right now. Iowa happens to have a whole bunch of competitive congressional and statewide races. Just the nature of the candidates, the nature of the districts, they're competitive. They haven't been gerrymandered out of competitiveness in Iowa. I think those two states decide who has a majority here in 2026, but also what happens at the state level is so critical with a Republican federal government that you can't overstate the importance of those two governor's races, Wisconsin and Iowa.
Scott McFarland joining us from the nation's capital. I wanted to ask you about President Trump's comments saying that he'll fire Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell if he does not step aside when his term at the helm of the central bank expires next month. What do you see happening here? And is this all really pointing back to Powell refusing to be pressured to lower interest rates?
This is a foil the president likes to have. He, for some reason, likes to have Jerome Powell as a political enemy or somebody he can blast or criticize. And I don't pretend to know what his calculus is there because it's not. I haven't seen that before, where a president has taken the Federal Reserve chair and made him such a dramatic rival. So I don't know exactly how that's supposed to work, but the president seems keen on it, which is why it's happening. And it may work to the president's economic argument if he tries to ascribe blame to the Federal Reserve for things that are going wrong in the economy versus taking ownership himself. But he's looking at all different ways of picking fights with this guy, from, launching his Department of Justice into a possible prosecution of Powell over the construction of the Federal Reserve's headquarters, a case that seems to have no legs at all, to publicly blasting him, threatening to fire him, trying to pressure him, nicknaming him. This may be working for Trump politically. I don't know what the inside metrics show for him, but it's clearly a fight he wants to have.
Scott McFarland at the Midas Touch, our congressional correspondent. We chat with him every week. We'll do it again next week, Scott.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Scott.
your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
It's 2:48 on WTMJ.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. I mean, there's just such beauty in it, If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Did you know April is Sleep Awareness Month? Jessica Ty for Steinhoffels. Invest in the sleep your body deserves and get $300 in Steinhoffels cash with a Tempur-Pedic mattress purchase. At Steinhoffels, experience the unmatched comfort and support of Tempur-Pedic mattresses designed to adapt to your body and help you wake up feeling refreshed. Upgrade your sleep experience when you add a smart base that automatically adjusts to snoring. Because better nights lead to better days. Celebrate Sleep Awareness Month and sleep better. Relax. It's Steinhoffels.
It's early in the year, but if you want that outdoor living project, that dream outdoor oasis started, you need to visit Outdoor Living Unlimited's amazing showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha. Nobody has a showroom like it. Bring your ideas, get new ideas, but let's design and build a backyard together. New deck, outdoor kitchen, fire pit, screen room, even a putting green or an automated pergola. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Take it home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. $300,000 is on the line, and you're at bat to win your share. Just play with your rewards card for entries, prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your April drawing entries all count toward another prize drawing in June. It's the Base Race Game Show. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe, but old, drafty windows can steal that feeling. At Ridgetop Exteriors, we bring that peace of mind back. As Wisconsin's leading Pella Premier contractor, we install beautiful, secure windows and doors that can save you up to 40% on your energy bills. Get a home full of new Pella windows for as low as $198 a month. Learn more at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Well, rain in the forecast tonight. Anything heavy is likely to be between 7 and 11 o'clock, and it could be straight-line winds and hail that we're concerned with. Wouldn't rule out a severe thunderstorm warning popping up in parts of our listening area, but not quite the widespread nature of the warnings that we saw last night. So the good news is tornado threats appear to be minimal. The bad news is more rain. It's currently 69 degrees, a little warmer inland overnight. Low will be down in the 40s, back into the 60s on Thursday.
One more time.
Well, the Boo Birds are not the only birds at American Family Field this week.
A one. He is a liner down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Going to roll into the corner for extra bases. Guerrero Jr. is jogging around third. He will score. Sanchez on his horse around third. Here's the throw home. It's not going to be in time. And the Blue Jays have played at 3 here in the top of the 10th. And they lead it 9-6 on the two-run double by Miles Straw.
Yeah, Boo Birds behind Lane Grindle's call as Grant Anderson allowed a couple of runs in the 10th inning of Tuesday's loss. And the booing really started when Trevor McGill blew a save opportunity in the 9th. He's been a little off so far this season. Saved 30 games, All-Star last year, had a fantastic season. Well, he's allowed 7 earned runs in his last inning of work.
I'm not a fan of booing.
No.
I'm not a fan of booing our team. I know it can be rough, but especially right now, so early in the season, I especially don't like it, but I don't really like it, period. I find it a little embarrassing. I don't like it.
I get it. You bought a ticket. It's your right to do what you want to do. Cheer, boo. I always think it's in poor taste. It just is, right? I mean, and Pat Murphy kind of feels the same way.
But the fans booing him after he saved 30 games for this team, a kid that's been through all that he's been through and what he did the year before for us to help us win the division, and then what he did last year, and then came out with an arm injury and still pitched and pitched one of the biggest innings of the Game 5. And for them to be booing him up there, that's just not our best fans, that's for sure.
Brewers have dropped 6 straight. They're now 8-8 on the season. Remember when Giannis booed back? Right there is this whole...
because that was surprising, especially because it was Giannis.
I know it kind of seemed out of character. It did sort of bring to light this idea. It's like, well, wait a minute. If the fans can boo the players, can the players
boo the
fans back?
I don't know if it's a good idea, but you can.
Exactly, but is it a really good idea for anybody? That particular night, the Bucks were down like 31 points at the half to a Minnesota Timberwolves team that was just not very good at that time of the season. They were all beat up and injured. And then Doc Rivers, of course, the blame deflector that he is, said, well, it's all because of the road trip that we had. Whatever. Nobody bought it. But Giannis missed a couple free throws, booed as they were walking up the court, and then he booed the fans back in the second half.
I thrive through adversity. I thrive when people don't believe in me. It doesn't matter if I'm on the road, if I'm at home, if I'm on my family dinner, if I'm at the practice facility against my teammate. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, I've never been a part of something like that before. So it's something new for me.
Yeah,
I like
new territory.
I love it.
New territory. I like it. I love it, he says.
So knowing how you feel about booing, same way I do, all of a sudden, though, during this discussion, I was thinking, have you ever booed during a game?
I don't think I have. I think I've, probably yelled at an official from the stands, like, what are you doing? Come on. What are you doing? That's an awful call.
Yeah.
Like things along that line. I've never booed the team that I came to cheer for.
Sure. I just realized, though, I have booed during a game. It was during a Bucks game. It was certainly not for the Bucks, though. But the one thing that I don't mind booing for, and I certainly don't start it, and it might even take me a little bit to jump in to do it, but if there is somebody who is being nasty, like trying to trip Giannis or hurt one of our guys,
sure,
that's when I'll give it a boo for that. But that's the only time.
And it's directed at the team that you didn't pay to watch, right?
It's directed at the player who's
team.
being nasty, who's possibly going to hurt one of our guys.
Well, the Brewers are trying to get off their schneid here, and it's been a rough start after that 8-2 beginning. They are beat up, no doubt. The Blue Jays are really good, so not an easy test tonight. But hopefully the Brewers can get back on track. Still a long way to go. Remember, they were kind of a mess at the start of last season as well.
It's a very long season.
Wisconsin's Midday News is over. John and Julie are in with Wisconsin's Afternoon News in just a few minutes.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out